But we're finally going to be getting on into it. So, spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map, the Red Zerg. Playing for Team Liquid, it is Snoot. It's the first cast of the day. We're going to be getting on into it. And it's going to be another long day like before. This time we've actually got our first CVZ, as his opponent is a laser. I actually had to adjust the camera there, as that bug still has not been fixed with the cameras bugging out there. So basically, I'm no ZVZ expert, but I know I know basically what goes down, and what goes down usually is that one of the players tends to go aggressive. Sometimes they go for mirror builds, or sometimes, yeah. So basically, usually it's sort of like a game of rock paper scissors in a way. Sometimes they both get rocks, and they're sort of just match up like they're doing right now. Both players going for an early hatchery. The only difference right now is that Snoot's going for a slightly quicker gas, it looks like. So he may be wanting maybe that's just his playstyle for a bit safer, as the lasers is just a few seconds later. So just opting for the slightly quicker spawning pool. So basically just a style change in each other's play there. So as far as the CVZ goes right now, mirror builds, we may see a few of these in this series today. And while it's ZVZ, so we most likely will, but we can see Snoot slightly quicker and slightly more gas here, whereas a laser just going to have the slightly quicker pool. The difference is minuscule right now. Maybe it'll help Snoot out if he decides to go for some aggression, but the map is Sequencer. It's one of the larger maps here. So as far as aggression goes coming out of these players, it's not as easy as on other maps, that sure is. This is actually one of the largest maps, I believe, that's been in the pool for quite some time here. So as far as macro goes, which isn't too common of a thing in ZVZ, usually players are always angling for some sort of timing attack. This is a map in which it could possibly head that way. Right now we're seeing Snoot opting for 6 Zerglings, whereas the laser is really just droning, producing queens. So a laser's actually being a little bit more greedy right now, as Snoot's going for these 6lings, and a laser's going for a 3rd hatchery, so that bit of extra resources is going for a quicker 3rd base right now. Whereas Snoot has his lings out, he's scouting all around. Laser's got his overlord just poking in and out, so he can actually just see what's going on right now. But, so a bit of a style change as far as this goes so far. Looks like Snoot's actually producing a few more links, so he may be wanting to put a bit of light pressure on a laser right now. So far, both players have actually gone for quick 3rd bases here. ZVZ, sometimes the players can be on 1 base for ages. Sometimes one player will be on 1. So seeing these players go for quick 3rd bases on this map really just goes to show that they know the map, that they expect it to be something in which aggression's harder to do right now. And right now we're actually just seeing both players are just flooding lings right now. So we may see skirmishes out across the map, but right now this is sort of going into a laser's favor as long as he doesn't take too much damage right now. He's got his queens here, he can't let them get surrounded, but with the defender's advantage, a laser should be in a fine situation. He's got the quicker 3rd base, he's got the extra drones here right now. He's actually been ahead of the drones quite generously, well, quite significantly so far, whereas Snoot has not really gotten too much done. Meanwhile, a laser is actually on Snoot's side of the map now, maybe trying to get a bit of a run by done right now. He hasn't actually checked for the 3rd base right now, or I believe he has at some point actually, but just not right now. But the 3rd base for Snoot is actually right over here, and he has scouted it. So a laser, he should think he's in a fine situation. Now, this is ZVZ Game of Drones right now, so Snoot's actually droning up more, and now he's deciding to attack. He's going to get up his wall. His ling run-bys, when both players have speed, are always a factor in ZVZ, no matter how long the game's going so far. Right now we see Snoot's going to have this wall with his queen right now, but it's a bit of an awkward situation. A laser can't push through this sort of choke point right now. He just maybe wants to chew away on these buildings, as it is just the one queen shooting away at these lings. Another queen coming down for Snoot, however, this Evo is starting to get weak. It's at about half health right now, as the laser has done a bit of damage to it. But it looks like that a laser is forced back. So we've got a bit of an interesting situation right now. Both players have just gone straight into roaches. No baneling nest for either of them. Well, actually, a laser has started as +1, but as far as I see no roach warren. So I guess that'll be coming later. He's just focusing on getting his +1 right now. Whereas Snoot, he got his Roach Horn, he got his got his Evo Chamber, but he's not researching anything. He's actually going into a quick lair right now. A laser once again wanting to poke forward. Maybe trying to snipe off that Evo Chamber. Snoot starting to research his +1 attack, so this lair most likely just going to be for roaches. No mutas, although on a large map like this, mutas can be effective as it is a much longer walk for melee units across the map, so it can be a little safer for a player going mutas, but right now it looks like both of them going for this Roach Horn, both of them going to be playing. We're going to have a game of roaches right now, so we'll see how this sort of develops. But a laser's situation is not too bad right now, as Snoot opted for the third base, which only has the 1 gas geyser, which only has the 6 mineral patches, whereas the laser got the more common third base, 8 mineral patches, so he will have the economic advantage looking at the income down there. A laser poking and prodding, so just naturally the flow of this game should go towards laser, but here we are seeing Snoot sort of changing his game plan right now, actually going for roaches, getting Roach Burrow. Whereas the laser, he's not making too many roaches. This Roach Horn is more of a safety thing. He's actually opting for mutas behind this, and he's going to have a full 3 bases to produce these mutas on, so unless Snoot decides to go for some strong timing attack, it should be a bit of a it should be a little bit rough for Snoot. He's going for a 4th base, but that's not really what you want. But he does get in with these lings here, so he does actually scout the spire, assuming he looks there. So that's a very nice scout for Snoot, so he will know that he's going to need to contest these mutalisks right now. He's actually going for 1-1 upgrades right now. Laser had the much quicker +1, and I believe a laser actually killed off Snoot's Evo Chamber there. So that's actually very, very nice for a laser. I'm not quite sure when that happened, but then a laser canceling the third base. Once again, this wall actually having a hole in it. So the lings are going to run in towards the third base of Snoot right now. So Snoot's sort of falling apart right now. He's trying to get his own counter damage done. However, a laser has plenty of roaches back at home. He's got an upgrade advantage since he killed that Evo Chamber. And now Snoot's taking a few drone losses, but really all this is doing is buying time for a laser who's going to have the better attack. He's going to have the mutalisk right now. Snoot's getting out to Hydras, so he will be able to contest the mutas, but having Hydras versus a unit that's so mobile like mutas, there's always room for something to happen. Now, it looks like a laser is just going to make a few mutas, clean up overlords, things like that. However, there is just 1 overlord out on the map for Snoot right now. Looking at his vision, not too much vision for Snoot right now. But we see Snoot, he's getting these spore crawlers up. The mutas will try to shave off as much as they can for a laser, but it is just going to be that 5 most likely. They may become a factor later on into the game right now. But as far as right now, it looks like it's just going to be those roaches. Roach versus roach, but Snoot's actually going to have Hydras in his army. And Hydras, ever since, they're a bit more useful all around ever since they got that 10 health buff. So that may give Snoot's army a bit more beef. Both players actually neglecting to make any Ravagers right now, so they're both just going to be relying on sheer mass right now. Snoot has the few Hydras, enough to shoo away a significant amount of mutas really, so he doesn't have to worry about those, so now he can push across right now. Snoot has 1-1, he's got that +1 missile attack versus +1 carapace, whereas a laser's going to have that +2. We'll sort of see how this works out. If Snoot decides to flood lings, that +1 carapace will help him out, but right now it looks like Snoot's taking a bit of a bad engagement right now. This is a bad concave for him right now. He's going to have to retreat to the bottom of that ramp, but a laser may actually simply just have enough to pursue Snoot right now. Now, looking at the income-wise right now, both players, a laser has more drones, so Snoot's actually in a rough situation all around right now. It's just slowly going towards the laser as he's pushing forward, taking this fight. It's a bit of a bad engagement for a laser, but he knows that he just has enough muscle and he's pushing forward. It looks like he is just going to slightly overpower Snoot right now, and a laser with the superior economy with the quite large bank is going to remax and push across the map, producing more roaches than Snoot right now. He's also going into his own carapace, so he is looking to sort of try and keep those strong upgrades going right now. And now it looks like we've got a laser. He's pushing in. He's going to try and kill Snoot here, it looks like. But Snoot, with his defender's advantage, should be able to hang on for now. A laser rallying his own reinforcements across the map, though. Snoot producing a few more drones, which is nice for him as he's actually taken losses to these run-bys here. So he's going to have to remax those if this game is going to continue in the longer fashion. So both players sort of just trying to reproduce right now. Snoot's actually lost most of his Hydras. I believe a laser got in there with his mutas. Lost most of them. There's actually just a single muta right now. But looking at this is actually a great push in for a laser right now. He sort of catches the Hydras and the Queens there as they push out to deal with that one muta. So I'm not sure if that was just a coincidence or a bait, but right now Snoot has lost really all that made his army special with those Hydralists right now. He does have the defender's advantage right now, but looking at the Roach production right now, it just looks like a laser has way too much. He's doubling Snoot in supply, and that means that the first game is going to go towards a laser right now. GG, well played by a laser there. So the first game there, going straight away, well, not straight away, as it was a bit of a longer game. So the first game going towards a laser. We're going to see if he can keep it up at ZVZ. And we're going to be getting right on into the next map as soon as we can here. The next map is actually going to be Odyssey, so a different sort of pace for ZVZ we should have, as it is a much smaller map compared to the previous one. You'll actually have to forgive me 1 second. My PC is must have a loose screw or something, so 1 second, please. So both players are ready here, so we're actually just going to hop right on into the game there. So it's a ZVZ. It's a best of 5, so there's lots of room for Snoot to come back into this game. But right now, Laser is currently up 1-0 in this best of 5 right now, spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map. We'll see if he can keep it up, and now it's a different map, so we'll see how these two players change it up. The Laser's opponent spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, gonna have to try and bring it back. His first appearance in Afreeca World, it is Snoot. So really the question that's gonna define early game ZVZ is what time do the pools come down? Last game, both of the players, neither of them went for anything cheeky, which was just sort of natural to do for them, as it was such a large map. However, Odyssey is a smaller map. It's got a much quicker rush distance here. So it's possible that one of them will go for some aggression here, but actually both of them, they're respecting each other. They're both going for this hatchery. Now, there's not too much to say. We're actually seeing sort of the same stylistic changes. There's Snoot with the slightly quicker gas, and then Laser with the slightly quicker pool. So a Laser maybe just wanting to, I don't know, both players have their own timings in their head. Snoot, I guess, just prefers slightly quicker gas. So we'll see how this sort of works out for them. Now, Snoot's mining his gas, Laser's mining his gas right away. That's really all there is to say right now. We're going to see. The real question that's going to be upcoming is, will one of these players start flooding lings? Or will we see some early tech? But that's ZVZ. Right now, though, mirror builds coming out of these guys. Essentially mirror builds anyway. Snoot, once again, slightly quicker gas. That's really the only difference in their play. Overlords moving across the map. So on this map, there is just sort of a few key places that you can put overlords to make sure that you catch any sort of run-bys there. So here we're sort of seeing a Laser's actually opening up with 6 lings right again this time. On the first map, he actually was a bit greedy. He got the lings much, much later. This time he's actually opting for all 6 lings right now. So knowing that this is a much smaller map, maybe wanting to get out his own scouting right now. Sending one of these lings north here. Well, that's actually a beautiful ling spread if we look at the mini-map. Just all those lings moving out. Meanwhile, Snoot has his own lings. They're moving out across the map. Neither player really looking for any aggression. They're both just making their lings. And this is where we're seeing a Laser. He's going for a quick third hatchery again. Snoot getting his own. So the players are sort of sticking to their own speed right now. We've actually seen no early pools in this series so far. We'll see if we get it into the next game. But we have to get right through this here. Both players actually opting for a baneling nest, so aggression is not out of the question right now. We could see a Ling flood from either of them, but this is a smaller map, so maybe they're both just doing it out of safety. However, though, both players are just squeezing in drones here and there. Snoot's being a little bit more greedy right now, squeezing in a few more drones, so he's going to have a higher drone count, but right now it looks like a laser is indeed flooding Lings right now. We'll see if Snoot can catch wind of this, as there is a few paths which are not covered by overlords. The lasers, Lings, they are just moving out right now, though, so Snoot will scout this. He may know that he'll need to produce a few more Lings right now. We see a laser actually making 2 banelings up at the top here. That's a bit of an interesting spot. Maybe just wanting to hide them there. He had those Lings up north quicker. Here we see the Lings for a laser are moving in right now. Both players have these baneling nests. Snoot making his own defensive banelings right now. However, that does cut into his Ling count, so this hatchery maybe in a bit of trouble right now. The banelings do come down. They are going to push this away, so we are going to see some of this Ling bane micro going down. We actually saw those 2 banelings run in for a laser, maybe trying to get some cheeky drone kills that could have quickly decided this game right now, but Snoot not taking any losses there, so that was very nice of him. And now it looks like he's all but held a laser's short burst of aggression. Snoot going into a Roach Warren, a laser into an Evo chamber, so a laser focusing on those quick upgrades once again. Snoot getting his own Evo chamber there, but a laser delaying the Roach Warren a little bit in his play here. A laser also going for a lair once again, so we may see he'll possibly go for mutas once again later in the game, but they were not too big of a factor in that game besides pushing Snoot the path that he had to go. Snoot actually losing 2 banelings out on the map here as well, so that's a bit of an unfortunate loss. Maybe he was trying to be a bit cheeky too, but ultimately getting nothing there. Both players now just droning continuously. They really all have the same tech. It's just slightly different timings coming out of these guys. Snoot, though, is the player who's up on drones this time. Here we see a Lings for a laser getting in. Actually sees the Roach Warren there. So knowing that Snoot's already begun producing those. A laser finishing up his own Roach Warren. We'll see if he makes a few of his own just defensively. And now we're actually seeing a laser going for a quick 4th base, but not just a normal 4th base, the gold base with extra mineral patches. So the 8 mineral patch gold base with the 1 gas is actually, if a laser can secure that, that could be very important into this game right now. Snoot currently just staying on his own bases. The laser actually got in there. I believe he may have tried for a few cheeky banelings once again. He did get 5 drones there, so that was certainly something. Now we're seeing both players are producing roaches. Right now, Snoot is ahead on the drones once again, though. A laser stopped producing drones right now. He's just making units. So both players are very equal on supply. Snoot ahead on workers, a laser slightly ahead on army supply. However, we'll see if the higher worker count for Snoot will sort of win him out. We see 4 Lings attacking this hatchery right now. Snoot getting this up for himself is very important, as he did just scout a lasers right now, so he'll know the situation. So a laser, he's got his 4th base up right now, so he can begin transferring drones, and he is just going to do that. Already getting 9 drones on there. That'll give him a significant boost in economy, even though he is down on drones. And now we're seeing a laser's actually going in for an attack, but the timing on this can sort of be questioned here, as Snoot does have the defender's advantage right now, and both players are relatively even on supply, but Snoot's actually ahead on roaches right now, as he has been producing nonstop. Maybe the better economy earlier on sort of just winning him out, building him more and more units there. Snoot transferring to his own gold base, saturating that right away. Both players got the perfect amount of drones on there. And both players sort of have good awareness as to what's going on. They're just putting out overlords. There's really not much AA right now. We see a laser opting for that quicker carapace this time, so he will eventually have a stronger upgrade advantage with the carapace, whereas Snoot is just sticking with his 1 Evo chamber right now. We actually see, though, a laser coming in. at this base, shooing away a few drones. So Snoot's not mining from his gold base right now. Snoot, though, is up on army supply right now, so he's pushing in. If he pushes in before a laser gets his +1 carapace, that will be a good timing for him. A laser's just producing units right now. So is Snoot, so we're going to see who can take the better engagement. And that's very important right now. Snoot getting a bit of the better concave. He has a few Ravagers here to sort of force a laser to dance around. But a laser may actually just have too much muscle here right now. Pushing Snoot away here, and the ZVZ will continue right now. We actually see a skirmish going down on the bottom side of the map. Snoot is actually winning that out right now. So, Snoot sort of pushing at the south, a laser pushing into the mid right now. So these players fighting on two fronts. Snoot, it's important he doesn't let these units get caught by a laser's greater number of roaches. And that may actually just happen here. Snoot's actually going to run right into this, so he is going to have to retreat. A laser is going to kill off all these units here. However, Snoot's coming in. He may sort of get his own surround right now. A few units for Snoot streaming in, sort of slowing down this army. So a laser is going to bleed off a significant amount. So he does need to buy time with these units. And so a laser's actually now just running into Snoot's main here. He's sort of foregone these units here, and he's actually going to pick off this weak hatchery. That's very significant for a laser. Snoot taking the better fight here in the middle, though, so Snoot's been taking the better army trades right now, despite a laser having that +1 carapace, but ultimately Snoot lost this gold base. A laser now also investing in tunneling claws, investing in burrows, so he wants other harassment options. A laser getting up a 5th base right now, securing his gold base. His gold base is going to start to mine out fairly soon here. However, having it while Snoot's just on 3 bases is very significant. Snoot's been forced to spend really any bank that he has. Snoot finally getting his own carapace upgrade, so it will be a while before that comes into play right now. Laser will have this burrow. There's, I believe, an overseer or two on the map for Snoot. There's a single overseer right now. Snoot starting up this gold base once again. It may be honestly good for him to double expand here if he can spare it, as even that gold base won't sort of hold him for too long right now. He is maxed though, so ultimately an army supply lead can sort of win him this out, as he is up on army supply right now. Snoot is down on drones right now, as a laser has killed them off over and over again. And a laser's pushing in though. A laser does have the upgrade advantage, however not all his units are here, and Snoot's actually going to cut off a significant portion of this army here. There's really no retreat for it, so Snoot's going to shred that right now. It may be time for Snoot to push across the map once again, but a laser just instantly remaking these roaches. He can't really get off a kill move right now. A laser, though, once again with these roaches going up north, killing off this base. An overseer is with Snoot's army, though, so now he does see the burrow and the tunneling claws, but he is going to kill off all these roaches once again. But Snoot, though, he's on 3 bases. The clock is not ticking in his favor. A laser has this extra base up. He can transfer drones there when he wants to. It looks like, though, Snoot may try and go for a push, but honestly, the players are both maxed out, so there's not too much Snoot's going to be able to do. He'll need to take a great fight. He's up on army supply a bit, but the defender's advantage is in a laser's favor right now, and these armies are actually going to meet right now. We'll sort of see how this works out, as Snoot's carapace does finish up just as this fight begins, so it looks like a laser may be sacrificing another amount of roaches here. A few reinforcements for Snoot are actually going to be cut off now. Snoot reveals his own burrow there, and his own tunneling claws right now, so it's actually going to be a pseudo base trade in ZVZ, I guess, but a laser has a lot more bases here, so this should go towards his favor. A laser sending roaches to every base of Snoot. There's only 3, where Snoot is now going to have to deal with these 4 bases here. Well, 5 bases, actually. So really, this should be going in the favor of a laser right now. Snoot is going to need to produce all that he can back at home to hopefully deal for this, whereas the laser, as long as he sort of just buys time right now, he should be in the winning situation. Snoot's down on supply, as he is sort of losing all of his drones back at home. He's killing off a laser's army. He's burrowing his roaches, so both players can keep their units at full health if it comes down to this sort of nitty-gritty low unit situation right now. But Snoot, he's sort of backed into a corner right now, and every unit Snoot loses is something he cannot easily replace, as all his bases really are compromised right now. He's producing more units back at home, but there's simply too much for a laser in his base, it looks like right now. Snoot's moving out a few of these burrowed roaches to get them out of there, but That's too much for a laser. GG gets called. Very well played by a laser there. Simply winning on out. So the first map went straight to the first map went to a laser, the second to a laser. We're gonna see if Snoot can bring it back, as that one is certainly a close match, and both these games sort of have been close, but a laser has just won out slowly there. We'll see if Snoot can bring it back here. We're just going to be getting on into the next map, which is going to be Abyssal Reef here. Now keep in mind, guys, that this is not just the one match we have to do. We're actually going to have a great TVP upcoming. It's going to be Snoot. It's actually going to be TVP. It's going to be DNS and Soul going at it here. But for now, we've got this ZVZ to finish up, and it is a best of 5, so there's room for Snoot to come back. We'll see if he can do it right now. Or we'll see if a laser can move on to the finals of yet another Afreeca World. For those of you that do not know, a laser won the last 2 Afreeca Worlds. So, the greens are spawning up the top left-hand side of the map, currently up 2-0. It is a laser. And his opponent playing for Team Liquid, the red Zerg, spawning down the bottom right of the map, Abyssal Reef. It is Snoot. So, this is where we're seeing things change up right now. Snoot, it's always so hard to decide what players should do when it comes to a situation when they're behind. Snoot's actually opting for some aggression. He's saying, okay, let's try and get this done. As playing macro sort of has not gone in his favor right now, and it looks like a laser may just be wanting to play macro once again, and he is going to go for that hatchery once again. Same build 3 times in a row here, so this could be where Snoot can bring it back right now. Or at least take another quick map here, as he's gone for this much quicker gas, this much quicker pool right now. So this is a build which Snoot needs to get damage done here. We're going to have Snoot is just going to start producing lings right away here. Then going to start putting on the pressure onto a laser. We'll see if he goes for a baneling nest, but we'll see if he goes for speed. He actually is going for a baneling nest here, so no speed for Snoot. This is just going to be him relying on this pure Ling Bane flood right now. At the very least, kill off the hatchery, get them in equal positions. Ideally, just kill off a laser right now. So we're going to see how well a laser reacts to this situation. As it's something that occurs a lot in ZVZ builds like this. However, it can still be very challenging. It really depends how the 2 builds line up right now. So a laser, he's getting up his spawning pool, but there's really not much he can do. He's seen the lings, but not much he can do until his spawning pool is ready. He will have the better economy right now, but Snoot already has been producing units. Snoot already has his baneling nest here. So it looks like we're seeing a laser. He's going to pull drones to try and defend this hatchery, as it is already getting very weak right now. We're seeing Snoot going to pull back. He's actually got these banelings. He's going to hope that they can connect with the drones or whatever else a laser has right now. The 2 banelings are moving in, and all of these units are suddenly going to have to retreat. Oh, all those drones tempting Snoot right there. Tempting fate, for a matter of fact, right now. Here we see these banelings want to connect with the lings, though, which are the main defense in a laser's army. It's actually just back and forth right now. Oh, the banes connect on the drones there, but that might not have been enough for Snoot there. Snoot got the hatchery, though. He's gone into the production of his own hatchery, so the players are going to be more or less equal right there. Killing off those 3 drones, the denied mining time, actually puts Snoot in a decent situation, as a laser is forced to return these drones right now. He invested in the spine. Both players are getting speed right now, or Snoot's actually not getting speed. I believe he canceled it maybe for a bane there. But Snoot should be able to hold his own hatchery. His lings are just trading right now. The baneling walking in, we'll see if it detonates. He may detonate it to save this queen right now, but no, the queen survives regardless. It's actually going to pull back into the main base, though. Snoot not wanting to lose that, or no, it's actually going to go to the hatchery, wanting to get that inject off right now. Now, Snoot has speed on the way, where it looks like a laser. Did he cancel his speed? Yeah, laser canceled his speed there. That is interesting. So we'll see. Maybe a laser wanted the minerals to produce more drones to get back into it. Or maybe he's just going to go for some sort of roach timing or something like that. A laser is going to bring the spine down, so he will have that for safety here. But Snoot did get up to quicker hatchery. He's got the more drones right now. He's actually getting up a third hatchery right now. A laser has seen that. So a laser knows the situation right now. We've actually got a laser mining double gas right now, getting up a lair. Looking at his natural, we'll see if he throws up more gas. This could just be a roach timing attack here. Possibly something like a Nidus, perhaps. So we'll see if Snoot's going to be set to deal with this. Snoot does not have his own roach horn up right now. A drone is moving out, so that could be the roach horn that he's looking for. Yes, it is. But a laser has the quicker roach horn. He's got the quicker lair, so we're going to see if Snoot's going to be able to deal with this. He has the much higher worker count. He's seen that there's no third base for a laser, so he may be suspecting something like this. Or he may be suspecting mutas. Really, it's going to be up for Snoot to be a bit suspicious. He'll need to produce units. As we are seeing the Nidus go down for a laser here. Right now we've got Snoot. He's got this +1 on the way, but a laser's just producing roaches non-stop right now. Snoot can afford to lose a few drones right now, but if a laser snowballs with this, he's got all his queens ready for this. We're going to actually see where the Nidus is called in right now, as there isn't really an Overlord in Snoot's base, or at the back of it really, so it is just going to be a frontal assault, and we're actually seeing this Overlord for Snoot is going to see this. We'll see if he sees it, though. Snoot's producing just roaches non-stop right now. He's producing more Overlord as well, as he wants to be able to make as many units as he can. He's ahead on supply. He's almost equal on army supplies. He is just producing more, but all these queens are here for a laser right now. So we're going to see how this sort of plays out right now. The third base for Snoot sort of is forfeit right now. A laser's pushing in right now. The +1 is not quite done for Snoot. A Baneling moves in, connects, but nothing really too major there with a single Baneling versus roaches. There's transfuses here for a laser. We may need Snoot to pull a few of the drones here to buffer right now, as if the snowballs against him, it could simply be game. Right now we see Snoot. He's producing as much as he can. He does have the better economy, so he may actually just win out and hold this. This timing for a laser might not have been enough right now, as Snoot did not play too greedily. It looks like he is going to be able to hold this. His +1 attack has finished. Another Nidus is called in right at the front for a laser. Units are going to rally out, but they're just really going to rally out to their death, it looks like. Snoot seems to have enough. He's doubling the supply, and we are going to continue this series here. So Snoot bringing it back here. Changing it up a little bit, getting what he wanted done. The next map is going to be Defender's Landing there. So we'll get right on into that. We may be having a short break here. So I hope you guys are enjoying Afreeca World. As this is the 5th Afreeca World, actually. We've had a few games with great players. Alright, but it looks like we are going to be taking a break. Snoot may be wanting to just take a quick break, get a drink or something like that. I'm certainly going to get a drink, because we've got a lot of casting to do today. This is our first best of 5. And there's going to be at least one more best of 5 and then a best of 7 here. Both players are ready though, so we're going to get right on into it here. So, we're going to see if Snoot can tie it up, force it to an ace match right now, or if a laser is going to be able to run away with it. It is a smaller map right now. It is a bit of a different map, though. It's Defender's Landing. And here we have the green Zerg spawning down the bottom left-hand side. It is a laser. Whereas his opponent, Liquid Snoot, brought it back in the last game. We'll see if he can sort of keep it up. We'll see what he decides to do in this game. Right now, it looks like the players are going for mirror builds, so no cheeky early pools just yet. It's still possible, and we're actually seeing a gas coming out of Snoot, so it's going to be some early aggression once again, it looks like. A laser going for what's looking to be a hatchery. No, a laser's actually going for his own gas here. So the players opting for mirror builds. Mirror aggressive builds, so ironically enough, they're both just sort of setting themselves behind, so it's going to be an equal game right now. Each of these players' risk is sort of just going to be null against the other. We'll see. Maybe it'll come down to some Ling Bane micro. Right now, though, we're going to have to see how this works out, as both these players, they were sort of aiming for the light aggression into expansion here, as they don't know that the other's going for this build yet. Overlord's just passing. This is basically as mirror as you can get right now. We're seeing Snoot opting for the quicker Zergling speed here, whereas the laser has the slightly later gas. But then the 2 extra Zerglings, so that's the whopping change here. So once again, both players are basically producing all the same stuff right now. They're equal on supply, they're equal on workers. So we'll see how this sort of works out right now. One of these players could decide to sort of try and macro once they identify this build right now, but we're going to have to see here. Looks like a laser is producing a few more lings, where Snoot's going into drones here. Both their overlords have arrived here, so a laser identified the hatch timing. Snoot moved in, he identified the hatch timing, so both players know the situation right now, and Snoot is producing a few more drones. We'll see if laser continues the aggression or not, as Snoot is the player who's just producing the drones right now. He's going to knock down this cooling tower, which is very significant for defense. The laser producing actually more lings, so it looks like laser is going to be the aggressing player right now. Snoot, he's got out his queens, he's producing more queens as well, so we'll see if he can hold on right now. It's going to come down to whether Snoot decides to make 1 or 2 banelings. A laser speed is finishing up, whereas Snoot actually opted, well actually no, Snoot already has the speed. He's producing 2 banes, so this is very critical for his defense right now. We see these lings for a laser are going to get in, scout the 2 banelings, so he knows there's a baneling nest right now. That may make him reconsider his aggression, but no, he's actually coming on in here. Snoot, he saw all these lings, but he's going to need to be able to defend this right now. He's pulling all his queens to the front to sort of force the laser into a bad situation. The banelings are moving out. We'll see if they can get the connections that Snoot wants. These banelings are just forcing the laser back right now. The laser trying to get these banes to detonate. One of them gets a decent connection there on a few of the lings, but the laser still has more lings than Snoot right now, but Snoot can sort of pull back to his queens if he needs to. We see the lings for a laser are actually running on into the main base right now, but there's a baneling waiting there, and it connects, killing off about half the lings there. There is a few lings left, though, and it is just the drones. The baneling's walking in. It killed off maybe 1 or 2 of the lings there. And really, that's all Snoot needed to hold this off right now. This one baneling. Oh, actually gets detonated by a laser there. So both these players just really trading, and now looking at this, they both have almost no units. As a matter of fact, it is just queens for both players. Snoot held that attack, and now it looks like he's going for the quicker lair, the quicker Roachborn, just slightly, as the laser has thrown up his own. But Snoot maybe had a few more drones there before that attack, but now a laser just went into all of his own drones. We see a skirmish going out on the map. This is what happens when both players have speed. It's the do I have more lings than you, but looks like Snoot's losing the do I have more lings than you game right now. So it is just going to be up to these queens to defend. Snoot may actually may need to make a few more units right now. It's just these queens. He's playing a bit greedy though. He's just sticking with these queens to defend, knowing that a laser is producing nothing. As the map before, It was very easy to see what your opponent was doing. On this map, it's incredibly easy to see what your opponent is doing, as an Overlord here blocks that path, an Overlord here blocks this path. This Overlord may actually be in danger, though, here. A laser moving out, maybe looking for it, but it's safe on the high ground there, can't be seen. But right now we actually see a laser running in with a Ling there, I believe just trying to get off a scout. Maybe getting off a queen there. I think he did kill off that queen, but Snoot has his roaches out now. He's getting the quicker +1 though. A laser has yet to start his +1. I'm not too sure if he got an Evo chamber. I don't believe he did. Both players have their third bases on the way. Snoot's is a little bit slower here. But, so both these players really have their own advantage. Snoot right now has gone back up into the drone count. He's got the quicker upgrade. He's got the quicker tunneling. I mean, the quicker roach speed right now. Whereas the laser, just producing links, it may look like he's going for some sort of counterattack. Well, this timing attack, as he's not going for roach speed, he never actually got a lair, I believe. So yeah, Laser's just going to try and muscle his way into Snoot right now. Snoot is going to have +1 finishing up, but his third base may be sort of forfeit right now, but a laser knows he can't just kill that off, as he has sort of made sacrifices to get this strong push going. Snoot's going to try and hold on. He's pulling a few of the drones right now. He can afford to lose a few of them as long as he holds this push right now, and he has the defender's advantage, so Snoot may be able to hold on. The +1 is just going to finish fairly soon here. 13 seconds, but that may actually be just slightly too late, though. Snoot does have the defender's advantage, and the laser's units are all slow, so he's just flooding with Lings to defend this, but that may actually be enough right now. Snoot, the army supply is fairly equal. The +1 missile attack has finished up for Snoot right now, so these roaches are going to start to win out. It looks like it may seem that Snoot has just barely held this. He's producing as much as he can. The laser's producing 12 more roaches, but they'll take ages to get across the map. So Snoot, by all means, has effectively held this attack. He can now sort of block off this ramp. As long as there's no other Ling run-bys, he should be in a fine situation here. Snoot, though, does need to start droning, as he was behind on the drones. And a laser has been relying on these quick Lings here, so Snoot's going to need to be careful not to take any counterattack damage. And he can maybe push across the map on his own, but these Lings for a laser are actually going to be intercepted. No, a laser saw them there, but Snoot sees those too, so bit of a mind game going on there. We see this one roach tasked with defending here, gonna try and pick off these Lings right now, but a laser doing what he can do with this high mobility. Snoot has lost a few drones, so he's forced to retreat right now. Actually, these Lings getting on into the main base right now. The drone's going to be pulled to try and deal with them. A laser getting his own +1, getting his lair now, so he's making it sort of work with this. He was down on the drones. He didn't really get too much done with the attack, but he's kept Snoot back at home. Snoot didn't drone up tons. He sort of made this odd amount of units wanting to go for an attack, but then was kept at home. Right now, things are looking pretty good here for a laser as far as the situation. He's ahead 20 drones right now. Snoot has not been droning. They're equal on army supply, so Snoot may be able to hit one sort of timing here before the roach speed is done for a laser, before the +1's done for a laser, but it needs to be a strong timing, as a laser has a much greater income here, almost double the income of Snoot, if not double the income of Snoot. Snoot's not mining off of his third base at all. He's spreading his creep as he wants to be able to push out as hard as he can, but Snoot will need to push out soon if he's going to make this work. He's equal on supply, almost equal on supply anyway, but really all he's going to have going for him is this +1 attack. He's going to need to make this work right now. A laser is going to try and hold this defensive position right now. He's going to try and take the better concave. Snoot will have the +1 attack, but he needs to make this attack work right now. This is all he's got. This is basically an all-in from Snoot right now, as he has not made any more drones. He just decided to go for it. He's got the 2 Ravagers, so he can sort of force repositioning, but it is just 2 Ravagers right now. And now a laser, he's up 20 supply. He's been buying time with his much higher drone count right now. It looks like a laser, if he can hold on, he will be moving on to the finals of this Afreeca World. Snoot killing off an Overlord right now, but that's not enough. He needs to push in. He needs to make something happen. He can't afford to lose those Ravagers by themselves. Maybe trying to bait a Laser into counterattacking. A Laser doesn't know that Snoot has no drones, but both players, they're on 1-1 right now, so Snoot's forced back. Snoot does not have a lot going for him right now. He's so low on workers right now. He's going to need to take this fight fantastically if he wants to hang on in this game, but even if he does, he's still going to be down on drones. The Ravagers are doing their best for Snoot right now, but he simply does not have too much of a buffer. It looks like a Laser may be taking this series 3-1 as he pushes forward, and I'm not sure Snoot's going to have enough to hold on. No, a Laser simply just eats through Snoot there. GG, well played, as the Laser moves on to the finals of another Afreeca World. So there you have it, guys. There you have it, guys. We've got the first finalists, and now we're gonna have the next players playing. It's actually gonna be a TVP, so make sure to stick around here. It's gonna be Soul versus DNS. Both these players in Afreeca have been in Afreeca World before and have put on good showings right now. So we're just gonna be getting ready for that, and I'm actually gonna take a short minute break here or so, and then we'll get the next series to you as soon as we can. Okay, so we're just going to be getting right on into the next game here. But then there's that lovely moment when I forgot to mute my mic and blew my nose, so I apologize for that. We're just waiting on the vetoes. It's going to be a TVP here now. Soul actually won the first Afreeca World here. And I believe DNS came into number 3, and now he's returning in number 5 here. So we're actually going to have a short break here. So we're actually going to have another minute downtime or two, but then we'll be getting right on into it, just waiting for the vetoes between these guys to decide what maps this TVP is going to play on. So the next match is going to be a TVP here, and then after that we're going to have the winner of this face a laser here. So we'll see if a laser can actually take, we'll see if a laser... If a laser is going to be able to take yet another Afreeca World, we may as well just rename it to the Laser Cup. If he manages to take it, he's beaten some scary players here, already taking down Snoot today. In the last Afreeca World, he took down Petit Drogo, and then just destroyed Hero Marine. So Laser looking very solid lately, that's for sure, and I believe he made it to the finals of like both WCSs or something like that. We're just waiting on the veto, so thanks for being patient, guys. Thanks for being patient, guys. I mean, we're gonna have more Starcraft starting soon here. And then the winner of that's gonna go up in a best of 7 versus a laser here. Thanks for waiting, guys. Sorry for the delay. We'll be getting on into it right as soon as we can. But the first map is actually going to be Sequencer, and then the second will be Abyssal Reef. So we have the first map, Sequencer, this TVP. Soul is certainly rearing to go, spamming the chat. So the second map is actually going to be Sequencer. The third will be Ascension to Ire. And then the fourth Proxima Station. I apologize for the wait here, but we're going to be getting right on into it as soon as we can. We're in the lobby, I promise you. We're just waiting to get started here. So thanks for waiting, guys. I'm sure the wait will certainly be worth it, as whichever of these guys goes up against Laser, it should be a good match, as DNS and Soul are sort of not the most widely known players, I guess, but they're certainly solid players. Okay, both players are ready. So we're finally going to get on into it. Thanks for waiting, guys. It is much appreciated that you've stuck around. And now we're going to be getting on into a great TVP here. Soul versus DNS. I think it should be quite an even match. I think they played in the third Afreeca World. Or no, Beastie QT and DNS played, and that was pretty close. So here we are. The map is Sequencer. This is a big old map, so we're going to see how it plays out between these guys and how their playstyle is. So, playing for Tess Esports down the bottom left-hand side of the map, it is our Terran player. And spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map, the red Protoss, it is DNS. So both these guys, very solid players. Let me just make sure that I've changed the overlays here. Okay, I caught it just in time there. We're only 30 seconds into the game, so thankfully you guys were not stuck watching my face here. So we've got Gas First coming out of Soul here. Pretty common, standard in TVP, TVZ, TV anything really. So ever since Heart of this, Legacy of the Void was really figured out. Everyone just sort of started going for the gas first a lot of the time here. So we'll see to sort of see what Soul opts for. He's going for an SCV Scout. DNS going for a Probe Scout too. So both these players not really trusting each other, and rightly so, as it's a best of 5, so anything can be brought out here. And now the SCV pathing for Soul, maybe he's gonna check the watchtower. Maybe he doesn't want it to be known that this SCV is going out. So we could be seeing a proxy here. And I believe Soul proxied once or twice in the past Afreeca Worlds that he played here. So we'll sort of see how this works out right now. We see this probe moving in for DNS, just sort of seeing that it's a gas first. Orbital on the way for Soul. He's starting a reactor immediately. So looking to be a potential reactor expand, just skipping the Reaper. So this could sort of point towards Soul being defensive here. Now we're seeing DNS. Okay, this is the most annoying thing that a Protoss can really do. Okay, Soul does get up the command center, though. We'll see if he pulls another SCV down. He does do this, as DNS is actually going to start harassing this worker. 2 SCVs have been pulled. One going to continue building the command center. The other going to come down and shoo away this probe. Now, a Marine is on the way for Soul, and a proxy factory with this SCV that snuck up north right now. This probe is sort of pushed away, though, so this factory has not been identified by DNS, so maybe he knows something is up. Maybe he's wondering, where is this? Where'd that extra gas go? Right now we have DNS just getting up his Nexus and going into a fairly quick Stargate. Stargate before Mothership Core anyway here, so playing it maybe a little bit not greedy there. Maybe skip the Mothership when he saw that it was a reactor. Or it is just a very large map, so Reapers are not too big of a factor. And now we're actually seeing a Cyclone coming out of Soul here. So this is interesting. As a Cyclone, it destroys Adepts, but It does not destroy Phoenix, and it does not destroy Oracles. But we'll sort of see what Sol opts to do here. He's moving out across the map with these few Marines right now, but that means he won't really have anything back at home to defend. He's getting up a starport back at home, just proxied the factory right now. So it's basically going to be a rush push. As DNS, he skipped the mothership, so he really can't defend this at home easily. This SCV is actually going to repair the Cyclone and be very significant right now. The mothership core, not even on the way, so DNS is just going to buy time with these pylons, sort of faking him out. The Cyclone can tank very well right now. We see a few Marines back at home for Sol, so it may be enough to deal with the Oracle, but it looks like that DNS actually pulled with this Oracle, so he's going to try and, he pulled this Oracle back at home, so he is going to try and get the Cyclone right now, but a mine's come out right now, and the Cyclone's actually going to pick off this Oracle. We saw a potential bunker. Oh no, the Oracle got away though with 2 health. That's very unfortunate, but great for DNS keeping that alive. The Widow Mine actually going to be picked off by these Adepts possibly. No, it stays alive, but it's so weak it's forced to burrow right now. And it's really just this one Cyclone being a pain right now, but all in all, Sol did not get too much done with this. He's down on workers right now. He has his factory out across the map. And so it looks like he's just going to dance around this Oracle right now. The Oracle possibly going to reveal this Widow Mine here. Maybe looking for it, wanting to get it. Sol locking onto this mothership, shooting it once, and then the mothership core backs up right now. We see this Oracle heading towards the main base of Sol. We'll see if it gets anything done, but there is a Viking here. Sol's teching up right now. He's actually getting a reactor on a starport, so maybe a cloaked Banshee follow-up, but maybe just a Raven or something like that. No, he's actually just going to lift it off. I was completely wrong. We see the Cyclone goes down, the Widow Mine goes down, so all in all, DNS not in a terrible situation. I believe he'll throw up a 3rd Nexus here, and he actually already has. So now it's just really DNS's job to tech up to react to whatever Sol's going to throw at him next. Sol's getting up his barracks right now, but he is without that factory, so we'll sort of see how that plays out. And now we're actually seeing Phoenix Adept going to be coming out of DNS. DNS was very proficient with this style in past tournaments that he's played in here, so we'll sort of see how he makes it work on this map sequencer versus his opponent Sol. Okay, you'll have to forgive me there. So, 2 barracks on the way for Sol, so just going to be getting up into that 5 racks barracks production here. No 3rd base on queue here, so it is going to be heavy aggression. Now, heavy aggression is always risky versus someone who's going for mass Phoenix. This Oracle coming in, going to pick off a worker or 2, then reveal, get out of there. It's very weak, so it could be picked off, but DNS has both of these, so if he keeps them alive, he'll have great vision on Sol's army here. Five gateways on the way for DNS here right now. Sol is just on 2 bases, so he's going to have a very large army when it comes down to this, but if it's enough to hang on versus this mass Phoenix, mass Adept, we'll have to see. He's getting his +1 out, he's getting his stim combat shield, so his army will be in good standing right now. This Viking comes out, most likely hoping to catch that weak Oracle right now. And he may get it, but another Revelation gets off there, so DNS, great vision right now. Sol scans, sees that DNS is possibly faking a later 3rd base. I don't believe he scouted this other one. Whoops. So Sol is not aware of this. Maybe he didn't expect DNS to expand to the worst expansion. Now, I say worst because it has less mineral patches. It's down by 2. And it's missing a gas, which is very important for Protoss here. Sol producing Widow Mines as he finally got his factory home there. This Oracle coming in though, always revealing right now, and DNS heading up to 4 bases. Sol, not a 3rd base in sight right now, so it is going to have to be up to Sol to get something done right now. He scans the actual 3rd base, and now he's going to decide to move out, knowing that DNS is not going for some crazy aggressive timing. DNS has a lot of gates, a lot of potential Adepts right now, but no crazy timing is planned. So looking at this, we have Adepts warping in for DNS. He's got the Warp Prism out, so maybe we'll see some counterattack. But really it's going to come down to this big engagement. Soul has a significant amount. 2 mines burrow. They do detonate on a lot of the Adepts, so a lot of this army is going to go down. But Soul is forced to retreat. He's forced to unload in these Medivacs. The Medivacs are going to be shredded. And Soul may actually have just lost this game in that quick move out right there. So many Adepts for DNS. I guess Soul just did not get enough done with this early aggression with that proxy, and now these Phoenix are just going to be hunting these Medivacs right now. 1 or 2 of the Phoenix getting picked off, getting weakened right now, but this army really cannot pull out. So Soul sort of rallies here, but he's still just on 2 bases right now. He actually sees the Warp Prism. If he gets that, that'll be huge right there. But the Warp Prism does escape. 1 Marine stims out. Gonna try and get it, but the Warp Prism does change its direction there. The Oracle actually gonna fight 2 of these Marines right now. Maybe get a Widowmine, no. But it's actually on the hunt for reinforcements there. So Soul has rallied. He's only down 20 army supply, so he may have a potential good fight upcoming. But Blink is done for DNS, so even these Liberators, they're not going to get too much done there. And now this is a lot of Adepts for DNS right now. Soul's just rallying forward. He's moving in. The Widowmines are going to detonate on a large amount of the Adepts, but there's simply so much for DNS. The Liberators are raining down on the Adepts, but they're going to be cleaned up pretty quick here. And now it looks like Soul's not going to have too much left right now. This 1 Liberator, the Stalkers are enough to contest it. GG gets called as DNS takes game number 1 there. So very well played by DNS, keeping alive there. You'll have to forgive me as I adjust my webcam there. It's actually held on by tape with the monitor. So the second map is going to be Abyssal Reef here. So a different map. We'll see if Soul can make it work. That was a very large map to go for aggression on, but that did not work out too well for Soul. We'll see if he can bring it back, though. This is a best of 5. There's always room. And DNS versus a laser would be very great to watch here. I hope you guys are enjoying the cast. We certainly have many, many more good games coming out today. This is just the second series, and we're going to have to finals the best of 7 right there. Soul is ready to go. We're just going to be waiting for both the players to be ready here. I hope you're enjoying the cast. I hope you're enjoying the games. And both players are ready, so we're going to get right on into it here. Hope you guys are enjoying the games. We're going to have the next TVP be playing out on Abyssal Reef right now. A Terran versus Protoss between these 2 great players here. So, spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, we're just looking right at him as the game starts here. It is actually going to be Soul, currently down 0-1, playing for True Esports, the Blue Terran player. I'm just sort of shouting out the facts of his name there. And now his opponent spawning down the bottom left-hand side, currently up 1-0, taking quite a clean game there by dealing with what Soul threw at him. It is DNS, the French Protoss player. There has not been a French Afreeca World champion yet, so we'll see. Maybe he can bring it back for, we'll bring it in for France here. As Poland's done quite well, so we'll see if he can knock out this Polish player here. Soul just going for a standard barracks first before gas here, so maybe wanting to be a bit more economic in this game here. Abyssal Reef is a map in which a Terran player who gets up to things like Liberators, who gets up to drops, who gets up to mines, can feel very safe, as there's a lot of choke points here. So at times, attacking on this map can actually be a very difficult thing for players, as there's a lot of bad concaves that can be taken here. So we'll see how this sort of plays out. Soul looks like he'll most likely just go for a Reaper here. I say that because he hasn't built the barracks slightly to the left, so we'll see though. DNS moves in right now. SCV immediately starts chasing that probe. Doesn't want it getting into any trouble. And now a Reaper is on the way here. Look at that. I don't think I've ever actually seen that in a pro match. Where DNS throws up his spray there. Mark Soul's Nexus. It's now tainted by that red Carbot star. So here we have Soul actually moving across the map with this SCV, but pulling it back right now. He's going to have the Reaper to scout out. DNS, standard expansion. Not too quick of a second gas there. So no tech rush just yet. We'll see. The Stargate worked out very well for him last game. We'll see if he goes for it again. Chrono boosting out this Adept here. So most likely going for a Stargate is my assumption, as he has not started a Mothership core. And there's the Stargate actually being used in this wall to block this Reaper, but there may be room for the Reaper there. But look at this. The Reaper actually hiding in this spot. We've seen various pros do this over the years. Oh, tell me I changed the overlay, by the way. I did not change the overlay. Okay, so you'll have to forgive me for that. I just changed the overlay. Only 2 minutes into the game, so I've already apologized in chat for when the delay catches up, so you'll have to forgive me for that. Look at this. The probes are going to try and surround the Reaper here. Fortunately, nothing too significant happened. This Reaper trying to get out of here, but it is cornered. It looks like his days may be numbered. It doesn't have a grenade. He may just opt to try and get a probe, but he does not. Weakens it. Maybe we'll see that become a factor, that one probe being picked off. So we see this Oracle on the way here. That was never actually scouted by Soul. He went in with the Reaper. He scouted everywhere but the top part of the space.
Upgrade complete.
So we see the Mothership now on the way for DNS, so he's going to go into this defensive play. We'll see if he goes into this sort of Oracle Revelation into Phoenix into Adepts play. It worked out very well last time. Soul had a tough time dealing with it, but Soul's being a little more direct this time, I guess. He's just going for this standard Terran build-up with a fast third command center here, so Soul looks like he'll be content macroing right now. We see the Oracle move in, not getting anything yet. He's going to see the stim. There's a missile turret already up in the space. These SCVs are pulled there, but this Oracle's actually sort of hunting here, as there's not enough Marines here to push it back. A missile turret starting in the natural, so the Marines can come out there. And yes, I apologize for the overlay there. It's takes 2 minutes to fix because of the delay there. So here we are, DNS saturating up his natural base. He's going to have his third base up to start transferring workers to start saturating soon. He's getting up more gases, so going to be going into maybe tech heavy play here, but he's getting up the forge, so he is going to be investing in upgrades. He's getting up his Twilight Council, but he's actually not producing Phoenix right now, so not going for this Phoenix Adept style. We'll see if he throws up a Robo pretty soon. Maybe he'll go into something else, but he's actually opting for a Void Ray right now, getting up that most likely to defend from rogue liberators is my guess right now. We see these oracles, they're sharking around here. Soul trying to catch DNS, not paying attention. This would actually be huge, but no, he moves them away right at the last second there. Revelation goes down. So right now we're looking at Soul with a very good economy compared to the last game. He already has a third base up right now. He's getting up his starport, so it's going to be a bit later of a sort of push, I guess, but looking at this right now, I think it's going much better for Soul, even though not much has happened in this game so far. He's losing a few SCVs here right now. Those Oracles actually just killing 7 SCVs off so quick there. That's very nice for DNS there, just stifling the economy, but looking at this, I think this is going in the favor of Soul, as DNS is playing a bit of an odd style right now. He's gone into Void Ray production. He has a Void Ray. He's throwing up a lot of gates, so it looks like it's going to be a Blink all-in, but from a Terran perspective, a Blink all-in seems to be much easier to handle these days than an Adept all-in, so DNS actually opting for Blink, going into a Robo here, so playing it sort of more delayed, I guess, not going for a heavy timing attack. We'll see. what he opts for, unless he already has Resonating Glaives and I'm completely wrong. No Resonating Glaives, opting for the Blink first here. Throwing up 5 more gateways here, so he's going to have a mass gateway production. But still no Resonating Glaives, so Soul should be in a happy position right now. Players are going to both have +1/+1. A Warp Prism on the way right now, so maybe it's a bit of a fake-out. Maybe DNS is just going to macro. He's getting out his Resonating Glaives now, but getting the Blink before was an interesting choice for sure. We see 3 Liberators out at a time for Soul, so this is a map in which Terrans are very content to use Liberators. Those Oracles, though, DNS has been doing a fantastic job just using them. Wait, is there Combat Shield for Soul? There is no Combat Shield started for Soul just yet. I just realized that. Oh dear. No Combat Shield. So hopefully Soul starts as soon as those Marines. They're going to be much, much worse versus Adepts. Resonating Glaives or no if there's no Combat Shield. He's been busy investing in so many Liberators here. And when I say a lot of Liberators, I mean a lot. He's been producing 4 non-stop right now. So soon he's going to be going up to 7 here. And at this stage in the game, that is a lot of Liberators. Maybe that is why DNS has opted to go for the Blink Stalkers first to start building that count. As he did scout the two starports, I believe. Only one of those was a starport, I believe, though. Maybe I'm wrong. But either way, DNS is now on his 4th base. Soul has scanned this. He's beginning to move out right now. He's actually getting a drop ready, but I believe that drop was revealed. Maybe just forcing DNS to react to that. But looking at this, we see some Adept counter harassment right now. And Soul's forced back, and Soul cannot afford to let this happen right now. He needed to go for an attack. He needed a timing before DNS teched too much. And right now, looking at it, DNS is going into double Colossus Robo. So a bit of a throwback here. Going into this sort of Blink Stalker Colossus style. DNS or Soul now just getting Combat Shield out. That's halfway done, but it's very, very delayed in this game right now. So his units will be worse. He's got a very high Liberator count, though. He's up to 8. 18 Stalkers to deal with 8 Liberators. He actually blinks, almost picks off one of them there. But right now, things are looking pretty good. All the Liberators, though, they sort of get caught by the Blink Stalkers. Now an engagement is forced by Soul there, as he has no choices. The Liberators just instantly sieged up, but a lot of them went down. He may be able to pick up that Colossus there, and he does. Another one's coming down, but now it's just Bio really trading versus Blink Stalkers. The 2 Liberators sieging up, so that's very nice here. Looking at this, though, there may actually not be enough Marines to deal with this one Void Ray. So, or a Soul may be forced back right there. So he actually is, just barely. Not many Medivacs for Soul there, as he was pushed back. He's been producing non-stop Marauders to deal with the Stalkers. Now, Zealots are on the queue. Colossus are out. So, Marauders are not going to be too effective right now, as we're now just seeing this sort of double drop here. Oh, it is scouted, though, so that's actually huge there. There's a cannon, there's a Mothership core, so this drop, I'm not sure how much it's going to get done there. Right now I see this one Void Ray trying to deal with all these Liberators here, so there's really no other way for DNS to engage these Liberators. Well, to deal with these Liberators without fully engaging the army right now. But looking at this, though, Soul really does not have too much Medivacs to heal up this army. He's actually got one very high energy Medivac. This Bio is actually being chased. We see these Marauders and the Marines, they got out there somehow. Zealots are dealing with them. Stalkers warped in, a lot of Stalkers. The Void Ray comes out. So that Medivac is actually going to be hunted down. The Void Ray may chase that down. It's forced into the corner. It goes down. So right now, a lot's been happening, but really not a lot that's sort of benefited Soul here. We actually see Immortals on the way. I actually love this from DNS right now. As Immortals, they're just solid units. They're not necessarily brought out too much versus Terran, as Mass Marines deals with Immortals, but when there's this many Marauders here, and when you're not sure if you want to invest into Colossus, Immortals are a very solid unit to add to your army here. So I'm loving this out of DNS. Right now, though, both players are on equal bases right now, so income-wise, it's actually going very good for Soul. 2-2 on the way, but +2 attack already out, so right now DNS has the upgrade lead. He's getting into this Templar Archives, which is very nice and very scary for the Terran player right now, as late game Protoss is something for Terran to fear, which is why we see a lot of this early aggression for Soul, but so far it's not in too much, but he's actually just gone for what looks to be a massive drop right now. He set up a Liberator at the top of the ramp, and now he's moving into the main base. And a large portion of the army for DNS is out of position, so he can't actually push up to deal with this. The Stalkers move in, they blink, and now Soul is actually forced to evacuate, but he actually didn't get too much done with that attack. It may actually be intercepted here, though, by the rest of this army, and this is a very scary army. And now it looks like Soul is going to be losing a significant portion here. The Stalkers blinked here. The Medivacs are most likely all going to go down, and now Soul's forced out, so he came in there, he got some damage done, but he really didn't get too much done there, I believe. He maybe unpowered the Cybernetic Score, killed off a few probes. So Soul's ahead on the income right now, he's ahead on the workers, so that's actually very significant, but as far as this army goes, it's going to be very tough for Soul to deal with, as we're heading towards +3 ground weapons for the Protoss player. He has yet to start researching Storm here. He's actually just going for the Archons. He's getting out a Dark Shrine. I love this, by the way, but we're actually seeing Soul sort of preemptively getting Ghosts out right now. This is actually very, very nice for Soul. Securing a 5th base, getting up a planetary right away. So Soul, he's going to be able to produce these units non-stop just to keep this train rolling right now. He's gone for some aggression. It hasn't gotten too much done, but just by continuously playing this out, he's doing a great job. He's now been producing Vikings. He's really got enough to deal with the Colossus right now. It looks like, though, that a large attack is coming in for DNS, though. Soul spreading out. He's got these Ghosts here. 1 or 2 EMPs on these Archons, on these Stalkers, on these Zealots will actually be massive for Soul right now. And this is a beautiful concave, so DNS pushing in right now maybe feels he has no other choice. EMPs have gone down on a large portion of that army there, and now it's being forced back. Soul is in pursuit, even though the supply is really equal. This is actually going very, very well for Soul right now. He's landing the Vikings as all the Colossus are dead. He's now just chasing after this army. The Zealots are moving in. These are very strong Zealots right now, but DNS or Soul should just be able to kite right now. He's got a very significant portion of his bio left. These Marauders are just shelling away, but it looks like the DNS may have overcommitted a little bit, but we'll see if he can rally here. He's doing what Protoss does best right now. He's warping in 4 DTs, sending them to every base. There's no missile turrets at almost any of these bases right now. The planetaries, which could defend themselves, can actually not unless there's scans coming out. Soul's sort of panicking right now. He's going to clean up the DTs at the 3rd base, but they're at the natural right now. They're at the, basically all the bases right now. SCVs are going down. We see an EMP go down, we see a scan go down to clean up those DTs. They're very fancy by Soul dealing with this, that. He needs to throw up a missile turret at each of the planetaries and they can more or less defend themselves, but this has bought time for DNS to sort of recuperate right now. Soul's just on 2-2 upgrades. +3 attack has just finished for DNS right now. Disruptors are on the way for DNS. Now, income-wise, Soul still is in the lead despite that DT harassment, as DNS is really only just getting up this extra base right now, so we're going to see how this plays out. Right now we're seeing these disruptors right now. Soul does scan this, so he knows he's going to need to control very well. The splits are really going to be the main tale of the story, but a massive disruptor connects. They're killing off so much of the Terran units. Decent splits towards the end, but the massive connections had already occurred there, and Soul's army just got destroyed by those disruptors. They're getting massive connections. That was so many units going down. It's not just Marines being killed off either. High value Marauders there. And now Soul is forced back. DNS did lose that actual Nexus there, so his income is going to be stifled even more. He's not been producing too much right now. But he may actually just decide to go for a push. He's moving in right now, but the planetary here will be very tough to crack right now. We're seeing a Liberator produce. More Liberators actually have been coming out, but a massive Disruptor connection there. kills off some high-value ghosts right there. The planetary, I don't believe that DNS can break this, but he's getting massive value right now. Disruptors just going out. Soul having a hard time splitting against this. The value of these disruptors is actually insane right now. This command center finished up, but it was not a planetary, so it's actually going to be killed off, lifted, but a little too late. So Soul now in a very tough situation. He may need to go for some sort of counter drop harassment or to build up the Liberator count. That's really how you deal with disruptors, is engaging them is very tough when there's a large amount of them. DNS doing a great job using these, and we've actually seen a drop here coming out of Soul. Exactly what he needed to do. He's going to deny mining at the space once again, and this is actually massive if he can kill it off. He needs to focus down this Nexus. He kills off the Mothership. He's actually just going to kill off these Zealots. The 1DT is going to work, but this Nexus is likely going to die anyway right now, so that's a massive counter damage done by Soul. He's actually going towards really what is the last mining base, and by mining base I mean almost mined out base, so DNS has almost no income. He's down on probes. So as long as Soul holds on here, he needs to repair this planetary. That's very critical to hold this position right now. Disruptor's going down, but the planetary lives. There's enough bile for Soul coming down. It's all force fielded in though, but the planetary, it's still alive. It's hanging on. And with that, DNS has no economy. It's just been destroyed right now. So Soul has the better economy. He's still mining. He's still got these bases. As long as he goes back to mining and just keeps producing, he should win out right now, as DNS can't even afford to build another Nexus. A scan goes down on the army. Soul has done critical damage to the economy of DNS. He can always float over a command center too, and he's doing exactly that right now. He's getting +3 on the way. Liberators, Marauders still being produced here. Once again, DNS is going to push in. This base needs to be repaired. If he loses this, that sort of changes the equation a little bit. But so far, Soul hanging on. Those SCVs worth their weight in gold repairing that. We now see a drop once again going out. These Marauders lift off, but a Widow Mine's at the last mining base of DNS. He's long distance mining a bit. Looking at the income, he's got almost no income right now. We're seeing DNS is going to try and push into this other base, but breaking these planetaries is a very tough task right now. We actually see Soul moving out. He's actually sort of going to turn this into a pseudo base trade, but this is one that I believe Soul wins right now, so we may be going into a tie series right now. Disruptor's killing off so many SCVs right now, but Soul has mules. Soul still has a much higher SCV count, and this army of DNS, it's just not made for breaking planetary fortresses without huge losses. And Disruptor actually completely misses there. The Liberator killing off any units that die here for DNS is something that can't be replaced right now. DTs can be warped in non-stop really by DNS. That's what he's going to invest in towards the end, but he can't really produce any more. So as long as these DTs get cleaned up, Soul should be in a decent spot right now. He's still got planetaries that are going to need to be dealt with. His production is compromised right now, but he has a few orbital commands that he can lift off right now. As long as he is not dying and losing his army to these DTs, this is Soul's game to lose right now. Killing off almost all the Nexus, so it's possible he'll be able to force a draw even if this game goes against Soul here. So this army is very strong for DNS right now, but is simply not mobile enough. Soul can lift off all his tech if he chooses. He's got these bases that can fly around. He's still got this one planetary, by the way. So DNS does need to break this if he wants a chance at taking this game right now. Is back home, re-stabilizing is not an option for DNS right now. He's just right-clicking on this planetary. He knows he needs to get it. He takes maybe a few unit losses, but he does get it. So Soul's mining is now compromised, basically. He's down to 6 SCVs, and I believe all of them are actually right there, but he may be able to produce more if he needs to, but he's killing off all the production for DNS right there. I believe he kills off the Dark Shrine. He's killed off everything. DNS has no money. He's got 2 probes left, but not enough resources to build anything. So this is certainly looking like it could possibly be a draw here. DNS or Soul actually securing that and floating a planet or a command center out there. There's 1 DT left out on the map here, so that could possibly work away at Soul's army right now. There's the Liberators though, so they can secure this position. Soul may be able to secure a base yet even, although I believe he has lost most of his planetaries. So he is just down to this 1 orbital command. He may be able to land it if he kills off the DT. The game can go his way, but there's actually a Widow Mine too. And there's no observer here, so both players have some cloaked unit that can sort of turn the tide in this game right now. This one Marauder might actually be getting used as a bait for this Widow Mine. Actually kills the Stalker there. The Marauder now hastily making a run for it. The scan goes down, so now DNS knows that there's a base left. Soul producing SCVs. He doesn't have many resources. He's actually making a tank too. Yeah, he's actually completely walled this off too. Look at that. Oh, he can't afford to let this orbital command burn down though, so he is going to need to lift this off. If that starts to burn, oh dear. Right now, both these players are very busy though. Disruptor drops. DNS still has his Prism right now. And he decides to lift off. There's these two tanks right now. Oh, but are they going to kill the DT? Oh no, they don't kill the DT, so now this orbital can actually be burnt down. I don't think there's a ghost left for Soul here. He's got no scan. Yeah, he actually needs to really... Okay, he's building a missile turret. He cannot let this missile turret die here. Oh, okay, so Soul's gonna try and make a last stand right now. It would be good to see him lift up. Oh! Oh! DNS kills the command center, though. Okay. Okay, so this game, DNS has done a great job forcing this into a potential draw right now. So really all that Soul can do to secure himself a position in this game is to lift off a barracks. Okay, so these disruptors. Okay, we actually need to see a barracks or two lift off for Soul because he can still lose this game if he doesn't float to one to the corner. Okay, he's got one floating now. So he is going to secure a draw in this game, but it's still possible that Soul can win, whereas DNS can only force a draw in this game now. We see unloading units here for Soul. He's going to start picking off as many buildings as he can as DNS is revealed right now. And there's actually a very, very scary amount of Liberators and tanks here, so Soul can actually force a bad fight here. It's actually going to be very tough for this army to be engaged. Really, it's going to come down to the Disruptors, and if they get the connections, Soul retreats there, bleeds off a unit, but every unit matters in this situation. The Disruptor shots don't connect that time. Right now we see, though, DNS moving out. He's losing these buildings right now. Every building matters, so really the only buildings he has are over here. It's one cannon. Oh, the DT, though. It's going to start working away on the units, and this DT puts a timer on absolutely everything Soul does. He needs to get out of here, as if these medivacs are caught, he may actually lose that tank. That's a very nice pick off there for Soul, or for DNS. So we may actually have a draw. I think this would be our first Afreeca World draw, or maybe not. So, right now Soul wants to take this game. The DT for DNS, if he keeps it by these buildings, he can't really lose. The only way the DT can die now in this game is by tank shots, but that's not too likely. Okay, so Soul's still confident that he can take this game. Whereas DNS thinks that Soul cannot here. And now I'm not sure if Soul can actually push out against this. I'm still interested in watching this happen. These Disruptors, the Stalkers, are going to intercept these Liberators. Soul forced into a draw situation in a game that he could have potentially won here. Oh, okay. Soul retreating. Oh, that one medivac is solo. One more shot and it goes down. Okay, I'd like to see those tanks moved into another medivac there. As, okay, so Soul's still boosting around here. Okay, this is a crazy game right now. We have 3 Liberators looking at the units here. 3 Liberators, 6 Marauders, 2 tanks. So the problem is that it's hard to kill these buildings without sieging. Okay, maybe the tanks can shoot some of these pylons here. But ultimately there's the DT. Okay, so the tanks are going to siege up and they can actually begin working away on these buildings. Okay, so he's going to kill off a few of these buildings. He kills off the cannon. He's killing off the pylons. But there's the Disruptors. Okay, these units are all clumped up right now. So Soul needs to be careful. Oh, the DT is actually working away on these units too. He's killed off one of the tanks. The disruptors are there. Oh, the liberators, they can... Okay, draw. Okay. Okay, there we go. So a draw has been agreed upon these players. So this means that we're actually going to have another match played on Abyssal Reef here for Afreeca World's first draw. So, I mean, what can I say? We're going to have another game here on Abyssal Reef. So we're just going to get up this lobby set once again here. And then we're going to have these players take another shot at it. Hope you guys are enjoying this Afreeca World here. Ugh. Okay, so we've got this TVP. It's going to keep on going. Both these players. I'll be surprised if we get into the same situation again here. So, the map score is actually still 1 in the favor of DNS right now. You know these guys. You know this map. We're on it again. No, this isn't a glitch in the Matrix. It was a draw in an Afreeca World. So Soul managed to secure the draw there. And now we have DNS spawning in the bottom right. So same spawns as last time. We'll see how this plays out. Maybe one of the players is fed up. Maybe he decides to go for some aggression. And instead of allowing the possibility of a draw to play out in the game. I mean, there's always the possibility, but the odds of us getting 2 draws is not very likely here. So, DNS just standard gateway opening. Let me just make sure that I changed the overlay again. Yes, I did. So here we are. We've got Soul just producing units. He went for a gas first that time. That's the difference from the last series. So we'll sort of see what he does this time. DNS still looking to expand once again. It's not like we don't see Protoss 1 bases anymore in this day and age, and it looks like it is going to be a gateway into Nexus. So we'll see. Now, actually, if Soul goes for a Reaper, he will. So the Cyber Core is a little bit later for DNS. This is one of the things that I had to learn quickly in my time playing Protoss. Is that on smaller maps, a Reaper can get across the map here, and the Reaper can actually get into the base of the Protoss player before, like, say, an Adept or the Mothership Core is out. So a good player like DNS, we'll see if he loses a probe to the Reaper if Soul just runs right across the map with it. We'll see. But that's the one thing that it's very critical to learn as a Protoss in TVP. On smaller maps here, so this Reaper's moving across the map. We'll see. The Adept is being chrono boosted out there, so yeah, okay, so I'm just actually, this is a learning experience for both of us on the Protoss end of things. DNS showing us how it's done here. So the Adept is going to come out. The Reaper, though, is going to tuck away into this spot. I don't think DNS had time to check the replay, so he doesn't actually know that the Reaper did this in the last game here. Oh, but the mind games, DNS knows. The Reaper bails out right away here. And now it actually moves down, so it may be able to get a probe here, but no. The Adept Shade is going to chase this Reaper down here. And there's a second Adept out on the way for DNS. And now DNS actually fixed the Stargate placement too, so the Reaper can't jump up here. The Adept is hunting for this Reaper right now. The Oracle is out on the way, so right now we're seeing a bit of a change in play right now. No super quick 3rd CC for Soul just yet. He's going for a Widow Mine Marine drop, most likely here. The mine can just be to defend from potential Oracles, but Soul actually going for this Viking too. I love the choice in a Viking. It's not something that we see too often in TVP, but it can deal with oracles, it can deal with later warp prisms. And now we're actually seeing an armory. Oh my lord, we're gonna see a Thor rush. Oh, I love Soul. I love this. Okay, so we're seeing a Thor drop with a Thor push here coming out versus a fast third Nexus coming out of DNS. Okay, let's see how this works out. So the Viking is here to try and deny the scouting, to shoo away the Oracle here. And then the proxy armory is to make a Thor. Now, if I'm DNS, I'm thinking this is a tank push, so I might make a Phoenix out of the Stargate. But no, this Viking's just shooing away the Oracle, so it's not even scouted. The Tech Lab will most likely see a Medivac coming out of Soul here soon. He's supply blocked, though, but okay. He's got 2 supply depots finishing up, but a Thor takes a long time to build, so they should sync up decently. Okay, so the Oracle actually delayed the supply, so that's significant here. Medivac takes, what, 25 seconds to build? So we're going to have a Thor coming out of here, a Soul, and oh, the Oracle actually scouts the proxy armory. Now, the reason why this build is a thing, you may wonder why on earth is Soul doing this. The reason why this build is a thing is because Maru, in I believe what was the GSL versus Hurricane, I want to say. Maybe versus Hurricane, maybe versus... in some tournament versus some Protoss on this map, Maru went for a Thor. Now, that's why this build is a thing. Soul's given it a shot. Why not? Thor's received their +1 armor recently as well here, so they will be stronger. This Thor's actually being picked up in the Medivac right now. Now, Thors are actually amazing versus units like Stalkers in low numbers, the Marines with the support, but this Thor actually needs to change mode to deal with this Void Ray here. As the single high-impact payload, the Viking's moving forward. The Viking needs to change its rally, though. Soul can't afford to lose that here. He needs the Viking to deal with this. Now, there's a large amount of army for DNS here, but the Vikings here is actually going to help versus the Void Ray. So the Marines are just engaging. The Reaper tosses a grenade right now. It bounces the Adepts. The Viking pulls back to deal with the Void Ray right now. The Thor, though, is most likely going to be killed off right now, though. So that attack for Soul actually just fell on its face. But if Soul loses this game, he gets style points for trying regardless, I think. I think that qualifies him. Okay, so we're done with the Thors. He made 1 Thor, and now he has an armory across the map. He's getting up a third base on location, so I don't know what to say, what's going to follow here. The players are making a lot of things right now. We actually see a Robo coming down from DNS. A Void Ray continued production. He doesn't know if there's more pushes coming out of this. We see Blink on the way, +1 attack. Meanwhile, now Soul's just transitioning. He's getting into this sort of... Soul is getting into this higher Terran tech. He's getting up the bio. He's going to have all the stim that he needs. Oh, that command center actually gets delayed for a second there, but this Oracle's still alive. And now we see a Warp Prism on the way for DNS. So we're going to see this sort of aggression once DNS realizes that this crazy Thor rush is over. He's going to know his sort of situation is alright. And interestingly enough, from this army, we're seeing +1 ship weapons. Okay, so I guess Soul's getting that for his Liberators, for his potential Vikings later on in the game. Double eBay on the way for Soul. That's important as he's already up against a Protoss heading towards 1-1. But right now we actually see Soul is moving out. There's Blink out for DNS. He's got a Warp Prism. Stim is just going to finish up just in time for Soul, but he's not really prepared for this attack. Actually, he has another Thor, so maybe he is prepared. The Oracle gets sniped down by that Thor. And now I'm not sure that Soul knows this attack is incoming right now. We see this Warp Prism, so we may see more Adepts, we may see more Stalkers warped in right now. Adepts are not good versus a Thor, so the Thor can actually tank a decent amount right now. 1-1 on the way, so the upgrade advantage is here for DNS. He's warping in more Adepts. Resonating Glaives isn't done yet, though, so this attack is going to have to wait before that's done. Moving in for DNS before that would be a bit risky right now. We see Soul's army right now, though, is disjointed. He doesn't know this attack's incoming. He actually lifts off a large portion of that army there into a drop right now, so he's going to have to pull back. And we're actually seeing so many adepts just moving in here. Okay, I don't care if you have a Thor Soul, you're in trouble right now. He lifts off the Thor, but it immediately dies there. GG gets called. That was unfortunate for Soul. Looking at this, he had the drop, which was moving out to the right here. But then DNS manages to take the third game, securing him a 2-0 lead. I'm not terrible at math. That's just the way it worked out here. So, I mean, just the fact that Soul went for a Thor, I mean, it didn't work out, but you gotta love it. So here we are. We've got the third map is actually going to be Ascension to Ire. So no repeats this time. I hope you guys are enjoying today's Afreeca World here. I love it when pros do crazy things like that. Now, Soul is going to be up against the ropes in this series, though, so he's going to have to bring it back. Maybe with Thors, maybe with no Thors. We'll see. Okay, so that was a crazy game. Both players are ready, so we're gonna get right on into it here. I hope you guys are enjoying this Afreeca World. I mean, that just made the series there. So we're gonna be getting right on into it, and keep in mind after this series, we actually have ourselves a winners match here. It's gonna be the winner of the series, looking like it may be DNS versus a laser here. Now, a laser bopped the last Protoss he played in Afreeca World, which was Hearthstone. So we'll see if DNS puts up more of a fight right now. But we can't actually count Soul out just yet. So, spawning down in the bottom right-hand side of this map, it is Soul, the Terran player, currently up against the ropes, down 0-2 right now, playing for True Esports. And his opponent, DNS, the French Protoss, sort of just wrecking havoc there. So we'll sort of see how this sort of goes, I guess. Yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see. Honestly, so we've got the gas first coming out of Soul, so nothing crazy. No CC first, which we haven't actually seen come out of Soul today, which is something I think he's done once or twice before. Let me make sure I change the overlay. I did? Okay. I'm going to be paranoid for the rest of the cast because I did that once. Right now we have Soul moving out with this SCV, possibly going to be going for a proxy once again. He tried it in game number 1. It didn't work out. Maybe he'll double down. Maybe he'll go for the same thing and hope it works better. DNS moving out with this probe. Gonna come in, see the timing for everything, know what's up. Well, not necessarily that there's a proxy gonna be at his base, but we'll see if he knows what's up. We see this probe moves in. We're going to see the orbital on the way for Soul. We're going to see a Marine. Now, this is sort of... look at that, DNS. I love it. He throws down the little star every time. So, this is sort of where things differentiate a little bit. And this Marine is going to be the main tip-off right now, because a Terran player who gets the extra gas has to wait a bit to make a factory. Now that there's a Marine coming out here, this basically indicates that Soul is spending his gas on something else. So DNS has every right to be paranoid. A factory is built a little bit out here. So we're going to see what sort of play this is coming out of Soul right now. We'll see if it's most likely going to be a starport follow-up is my assumption here. As a factory, just whatever it's producing. Okay, so we see the starport on the way. The factory's there, so we'll see if it's going to be a Cyclone. Yes, it is. Cyclones are very strong early game TVP. And as far as tech-wise, DNS has not thrown anything up yet. He's opted for the Mothership Core. Now, interestingly enough, the Mothership Core can sort of be danced around, so it's almost a question whether going for a Stargate instead of the Mothership Core is the better choice. But looking at this, okay, someone's been scouted here. So, Soul or DNS actually scouts the factory here. He has not seen the Stargate here, so maybe he just assumes it's like the game before. We're going to see a Medivac come out, so this is going to be a double Cyclone drop. A Robo is on the way, but Immortals are very, very great versus Cyclones, but we're going to have to wait and see if DNS will be able to get one out in time, or if some damage will be done, as 2 Cyclones being dropped into the base are very tough to contest right now. We have the Marine move out here, so Soul very confident that there's actually going to be no Oracle coming into his base right now. Or maybe he's just chancing it. We'll see, going for some sort of pseudo base trade. There's been no expansion for Soul, so this is very all-in right now. We see him landing here. He lands the Cyclones in here. He may actually be able to start working away on some probes, maybe on the Robo even. There's 3 Adepts here, but the Cyclones versus 3 Adepts is actually a possible good trade for the Cyclones there. One of the Adepts goes down. The Cyclones are taking some damage, but the Marines are pushing at the front. A bunker's on the way. I'm loving this push out of Soul right now, just getting some aggression done. The Cyclones load up into the Medivac to get away, but right now the natural base is actually going to be under fire right now. I'd like to see those Marines step forward. They do just that. Soul actually loses one of the Cyclones there, but he's been producing more and more units. He's getting up his command center back at home. He's killed off 11 probes so far, so right now he's actually equal on workers, and if he gets this Nexus, that's really the big if. Looking at it right now, there's actually no Immortal out right now, so it's actually 1 Stalker versus all these Marines and a Cyclone. The SCV here can actually start repairing the Cyclone right now, so this Nexus is going to be forfeit right now, and this is actually huge for Soul right now. It's going to be a 1-base Robo Protoss, and a Liberator actually comes in. A 1-base Protoss with 1 Stalker who can't deal with this Liberator. There's a Dark Shrine on the way there, but a Dark Shrine can't do too much. The Immortal gets its shield tapped right there, and there's really no reason for the aggression to continue. Soul flew in there with the Medivac. He sees the Dark Shrine, so he knows what's up, and eBay is already on the way. 1 behind Dark Shrine, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. Soul is certainly not out of this series just yet. He's fighting, and now I believe he may honestly have just a solid comeback in this series. There's even a Widow Mine there now, so everything, it's basically a Cyclone, a Liberator, a Mine, and a bunker with a couple Marines in it there, so this has got to be a good situation for Soul right now. The Dark Shrine is finishing up, but oh, we haven't actually seen any turrets going up for Soul. Missile turrets, Soul, please. Oh, we see Soul throw this away by not getting that. He doesn't have a scan right now. We'll see if he drops a mule. He actually intercepts the Warp Prism, which hasn't began warping units in right now. But still, we're seeing absolutely no detection, no turrets going up. And this is actually 3 DTs. Even if there's a scan, I'm not sure that's enough to deal with this. The DTs are there. They're at the base. Missile turrets are going up, but this is far too little, too late. Maybe he can secure himself at the natural. No, he actually dropped a mule. He'll have 1 scan in a second here. But a lot of damage being done by these DTs. This is how DNS gets himself back into this game. A scan goes down, but the DTs are lifted up, and that's the 1 scan. And now the DT is working away at the natural. There's no turret up for Soul. He needs to secure this missile turret right now. He needs to give it the hug of life. He can't let a DT get on it right now. There's actually more DTs. The Liberator can actually start chasing this Warp Prism. So the main base is going to be secured for Soul now that he has the missile turret. I'd love to see the Liberator chase the Warp Prism, by the way. Okay, he's going to do that, so the Warp Prism may actually go down here. Right now we see Soul moving, or DNS moving across the map with his ragtag army, the Mothership Core, the Immortal. This Warp Prism, if it goes down, there's actually going to be no reinforcements for this push. The Liberator may get the final shot off, and it does, so there's no reinforcements for this push right now. So Soul may just have survived this right now. All he needs to do is hang on versus basically 1 Immortal and Archon. I guess the DTs got out in time. And there's really no easy way for DNS to reinforce this right now. Soul has +1 attack. He's got this bio. He's got Stim, but he's loading up into a Medivac right now. But even an Immortal and an Archon, all Soul knows is that he needs to hold on right now. Stim is just on the way for Soul. He's actually got +1 in Combat Shield, but no Stim just yet. So maybe that was killed off by the DTs, or maybe he just opted for that. Right now we see a drop moving out. It is going to be scouted, though. Actually a double drop to try and fake, but not maybe the most convincing there, just the way it flew out and then flew back. So DNS not in a great situation still. The DTs got damage done. If Soul had built turrets there, he would have already had the game, but He did not, so we'll sort of see how this works out. He's going out for a double drop right now. He's got a missile turret up in every base. He's producing tanks now, Medivac, Stimpack on the way. Medivac's actually being produced from the starport at home. These units are moving out, maybe hoping to catch this drop here. And they may just do that. There's actually 3 sentries, an Archon, and 2 Stalkers. Is that enough to get this Liberator here and this Medivac? The Liberator actually sort of giving that away. But now we see a drop at the attempted third base here. These Marines do just have +1 right now. There's no stim, but they still may be able to get this Nexus. It's going to be weakened for sure. There's a DT warped in, so Sol lifts off there, and he heads towards the natural. There's no blink for the Stalkers, I believe. Nope. So they actually are going to have a very tough time pushing away these Medivacs that can just sort of slowly fly away, but never mind, they intercept there. That Medivac goes down, so looking at the supply, it's now equal, and there's a DT in the production of Sol once again. There's this Warp Prism, there's a Medivac. Oh, the Warp Prism, the DT gets out. So DNS is doing wonders to come back into this game here. A drop is going down, might actually get the Cybernetic Core. That's, I guess, a pain for DNS to rebuild here. No, he actually retreats. He's sort of stuck there now. He may just be forced to land on top of those Stalkers. He does, he begins unloading. 3 of the Marines get out. He may get a Stalker as a trade there, yes. I guess that's a consolidation prize, but losing those drops has been unfortunate for Sol right now. It's sort of given DNS the legs to stand on to get back into this game. Medivacs now being produced at home as the starport flew back. We see this Warp Prism move in once again. A scan goes down, but it's just a bait. A missile turret's actually being placed there. Nope, but then it's cancelled. Not sure what happened there, but we see a third base on the way here, so both players are going to have thirds right now. The income is certainly in Sol's favor right now, but DNS has been doing wonders to get himself back into this game. We're seeing a double drop with a Liberator out too. He's actually going to maybe unload and try to get this Warp Prism. The Liberator can actually hunt this Warp Prism if he chooses to do so. We see a scan go down, but that's a DT. That Warp Prism in 1 DT has baited out so many scans. We now see the Warp Prism trying to escape. A Liberator trying to kill a Warp Prism is always an amusing thing. We'll see if it gets it. 10 damage a shot. We'll see if it gets it before the Warp Prism escapes. No Stalkers actually ran out to save it, so I believe that Warp Prism is abandoned. We'll see if there's another coming out for... Another Immortal actually queued up, so I guess the harassment is done here. We see that third base getting up, orbital command on the way, and now we're seeing a push coming out of Sol, so DNS is going to have to worry about this. He's building a good amount of units though, but there's already one out for Sol, whereas there's no upgrades on the way for DNS, so while DNS has been doing a great job bringing himself back into this game, I'm not sure if he'll be able to hold on versus this strong push right now. They're even on supply, they're even on army supply. It's a miracle that DNS has gotten this far. This one observer is actually just a miracle worker right now, giving him all he needs to know. We see Sol's moving out on the map right now. There's another Warp Prism out. Apparently a Warp Prism survived somewhere with 1 health. Sol is moving in to push once again. He's got the upgrade advantage, and he still will. He's getting out of Ghost Academy, so loving those EMPs apparently. There's, however, his units in a bunker here, so counter-aggression should not be too much right now. So Sol can begin to push in if he chooses to. That observer has given DNS all he needs to know by far, though. We see these adepts going for harassment. The few Marines pop out of their bunker and are actually going to clean this up. And now we're actually just seeing Sol waiting. He's just waiting for these ghosts, it looks like, and waiting for his 2-2 before he goes in for the push. And 2-2 versus +1 Protoss is going to be just a massive advantage. He's even getting these ship weapons. He's going for a triple Widowmine drop. He's going to move into the main base, but all that Sol needs to do, though, is to kill this observer, and then DNS is in the dark. We see this depth shade going out, so he's actually looking for an engagement, it looks like, for DNS, but 2-2 has just finished, so it's not going to be a walkover like those other engagements were in the past in the past games here, so we'll see. This triple Widowmine drop goes down. The Widowmines are actually connecting, getting 15 probes there. I believe they also killed off the Observer, if there was one there. Speaking of killing off Observers, this one Observer is still alive, somehow avoiding that scan narrowly. There, however, now is 3 ghosts out for Soul. He can EMP this entire army, effectively half its health. These Adepts, they are shading. Look at this big blob. That's just right for the EMPs. The Widowmines fire off again, by the way. So Soul is having a hard time sealing the deal with this one. Taking his time, maybe not wanting to throw it, and he's certainly not. Soul's still in a fantastic position, getting up a 4th base versus a 3 base Protoss, getting +3 attack, but the fact that DNS has lived this long has left him room to try and survive. Well, left him room to try and claw his way back. He's actually ahead on army supply right now, as DNS is down to 39 probes. So DNS is almost no economy, but, well, not no economy, but he's just got a very reduced economy right now. This is a mass amount of Adepts right now moving in for DNS. We may finally see this engagement. This game, I believe this is not going to go well for the Adepts. EMP is going off on the army. All the Adepts are just shredded. More EMPs raining down on the Stalkers, on the Immortals. This is 2-2 versus 1-1 right now, so this should go very well for Soul right now, but DNS is actually taking an alright trade. Okay, DNS is just pushing out and destroyed the army of Soul. I stand corrected. Soul's forced to retreat. The EMPs apparently were not enough right now. We see more reinforcements rallying out for Soul, but he may actually be forced to pull SCVs. Oh, if he loses that Medivac, he does. That's a large amount of his supply right now. However, there is a planetary up, so this isn't all in for DNS right now. But the fact that DNS is possibly going to make this work is absolutely insane. DNS has a warp with him, so he's morphing in sentries right now so he can force field, I guess. Soul can try and kite. He's got his 3-3 on the way, but I'm not sure that's going to be a factor into this game. The SCVs may need to be pulled right now, but force fields go down, locking down a large portion of this army. Soul knows he was in a great position right now, but he may be in a lot of trouble. Liberators are on the way. That's very nice, as there's not much AA in this army of DNS, and these are +1 Liberators, so they actually do significantly more damage. So DNS is pushed in, but we'll see if he can manage to sort of seal the deal here. However, that is a lot of Adepts right now. The fight goes down. The SCVs are actually pulled into this. The Widowmine's engaging on top of this entire army. GGGL. Oh my lord. Soul actually did it. Well, DNS actually did it. Although I'm not sure why it's not giving me vision of everyone, but wow. That was something. Amazing comeback by DNS there. Manages to take the 3-0, well, 3-0 and a draw even, so I hope you guys have enjoyed that series. I'm amazed that Soul managed to bring that back. Like, I was not expecting him to be able to. But I guess just he managed to mass up and catch Soul not in the greatest situation, so very well played. So we're actually going to take a short break here. It's been 2 non-stop series right now. I hope you guys are enjoying this tournament so far. Stay here. Yeah, that's right, stay here, as we actually have a best of 7. It's going to be a PVZ. DNS versus a laser. We'll see if a laser can be toppled or if he'll take yet another Afreeca World Championship. So we shall be back shortly. Okay, so thanks for waiting, guys. We're going to be getting right on in. We already have the first map here. The first map is going to be Proxima Station in this PVZ here. Should be a great match coming up here. Ascension Tire is going to be number... Hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Thanks for sticking around. I mean, we've had 2 great best of 5s, and now we're getting ready for the best of 7 finals. The 6th map is going to be Blood Boil, so we'll see if we actually see that. So we're just going to be getting right on into the first lobby. Proxima Station. This is a best of 7, so we should see all sort of ranges of play, but I believe this is the first time that we'll have Proxima Station. Now, so we're going to begin answering the question of, will a laser manage to take the 3rd Afreeca World in a row? I mean, this guy will just be here picking up money over and over and over if he manages to take this one. Okay, so here we are. We're going to be ready in just a minute here. I hope you guys have enjoyed the cast so far. Once both of these guys are ready, it could be a long PVZ, it could be a short one. We'll see. A laser just... Okay, both ready. Both players are ready. There's a lot of banter going on. Friendly banter, though, so we're going to be getting right on into it. I'm remembering to change the overlay here. I'm also going to remember to stop the music here, because having that is not ideal while we're casting. So, I believe both these guys are actually teamless right now, so if you happen to own a Starcraft 2 team, make sure to pick them up, you know. A laser playing very well, and so is DNS. And now we're getting ready for a best of 7 here. So spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map, the red Zerg, 2-time Afreeca World champion in the finals, looking to make it a 3-peat. And now his opponent up in the top right-hand side, you know him, DNS, managing to sort of sneak that 3-0 versus Soul, including forcing a draw there. So we'll see how this goes. This could be a close match, or a laser is a very scary Zerg, so we'll see how DNS does against him. DNS, though, a very solid Protoss. Now, the map is Proxima Station. We're seeing a laser taking that back expansion. It's really only common for Zerg to take the front expansion versus Terran players. Maybe in a ZVZ too, but right now we're seeing a DNS moving out with a probe. Unfortunately, it's not a cannon rush, as he is going for a gateway. I would love for it to be a cannon rush. I haven't actually cast a cannon rush match in a disgustingly long time, you know? So we have just a standard gas pool on the way for a laser after his expansion. DNS is moving in, sees that, gonna make sure that there's no cheekiness going on right now, as DNS then goes for his own Nexus relatively quick here. as Proxima Station really is the map in which it's easy to secure your first 3 bases. DNS getting up his wall here, that probe, is harassing a laser's mineral mining, so maybe trying to tilt his opponent a bit, just mess with things. Right now we see just DNS second gas on the way. A laser, will see what sort of timing he takes his third base, if he goes for some aggression. In his series versus Hearthstone, he was a very, very aggressive player. You'll have to forgive me if there's any background noise or anything too. I need to take a look at my PC. My PC after that. It's always had a bit of a problem, and I recently did a rebuild on it. However, that seemed to have made the problem worse, so that's always fun. Oh, and there's me accidentally kicking something over. So you'll have to forgive me here. But fortunately not too much is going on in this early game PvZ here. If the audio of my PC's constant vibration is annoying, then just let me know and I'll see if I can adjust the microphone, maybe to pick it up less, things like that. So anyway, we have a gateway adept coming out here, just a standard adept. We'll see if a laser moves out on the map, most likely just to secure this wall. He may move out with his second adept, but for now, a laser going for Overlord speed, third base on the way. Dare I say this can be a Ling Flood? We actually see DNS has already moved out with an adept, apparently. I missed that. He's trying to get some workers. He actually gets one, so that's nice, and then the adept gets out of there. It's gonna have to run though, as these lings do get speed, so a laser may decide to try and chase it down here. The adept has begun regenerating shields though, so it shouldn't be too easy pickings here. We see a zealot on the way. I guess that's going to be the doorman zealot here. Maybe all of these adepts try and get some harassment done. An oracle is on the way here. But it's actually not looking to be a Ling Flood from a laser. He got that speed a lot in his last series, and then just went for mass attacks versus Hearthstone here. But this time he's playing it a little bit more conservative, maybe. So getting up Spore Crawlers here just to deal with the oracles right now. And then he's just going to drone happily, getting up towards his third base. Saturation. Meanwhile, DNS getting up his own third Nexus. Going to be securing that. So far, we have yet to see anything coming out of DNS that will shoo away these Overlords right now. It's actually these 3 Adepts here. Gonna be used to pick off this Spore Crawler and then just deny mining on top of this base. These 3 Adepts are gonna tuck into this mineral patch right now. The Adepts are then actually gonna shade into the main base. There's not actually enough units here to defend from 3 Adepts. More Lings are on the way right now, but it looks like DNS is just trying to abuse some positioning right now. He shades once again. More Lings are on the way though, so these Adepts, I don't believe they're actually going to get too much done. It's very fancy footwork from DNS right now, but not going to get too many drones here. Maybe one more drone. Yes, so that's a 3rd drone. The Oracle has stayed alive, but not gotten too much. 3 drones is nice. It's keeping the pressure on it. Forced units out, so for DNS that is a nice play. He's now getting out a Void Ray here, I guess, to deal with those Overlords there. But that Overlord sees it and heads right out of town. Double Robo on the way. Okay, so this is the choice attack for DNS. We're going to see. It could possibly be for Mass Disruptors. It could be for Colossus right now. So far, I'm tempted to say that it's going to be for Colossus because a laser is most likely heading into Hydra Ling, which is exactly what he just made. He just made his Hydralisk then, and now he's getting out, well, DNS is getting a double Robo, so we'll see if he goes into this Colossus, or if he goes into Disruptors here, or just Mass Immortals. Either way, all of those units are great for Protoss. I'd personally love to see Colossus, as they're not used enough, dare I say, as someone who watched a lot and played a lot of Heart of the Swarm. There's not enough Colossus. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the cast so far. Make sure to share this stream on Twitter and whatnot if you're enjoying it. We now see 11 Hydras on the way. Now that's a scary force coming out of a laser here. Templar Archives on the way. We actually have seen nothing coming out of these double Robos here for DNS just yet. We see one Immortal on the way. We'll possibly see another here, but so far no robotics base, so it's just going to be Immortals most likely coming out of here. Immortals were very good versus Lurkers, are still quite decent versus Hydralisk here. So 2 Immortals, it's going to be this Immortal Charge Lot Archon style coming out of DNS right now. Now, this is a very, I guess, useful style. I mean, it has its moments right now, but we're going to see if DNS can hang on right now using it. He does not have charge yet. 2 Immortals are about to pop right now, but his base is under a lot of pressure. This is just a handful of Hydras. The Zealots just get chewed through by Hydras. One of the Immortals is out right now. There's actually no more Photon Overcharges right now. So we may actually just see DNS die to this push right now. He's warping in Templars right now, so he can get this Archon out. So that'll actually help a great deal right now. But these probes are now going to be under fire. We see these Zealots. Charge is not quite done. It's finishing in just a few seconds right now. So they will actually be able to close the distance on those Hydras. But now they're all dead. So we do see another Immortal just about to be popping out there, though. So it looks like that DNS may just hold, but it's very close right now. The probes have been massacred. They were not moved. There's 18 probes have gone down so far. So DNS is in a very tough situation. We see 4 Zealots just popping out right now. 4 Immortals are actually here, but they do not have much support right now. The Lings are closing the gap. The Immortals, one of them is about to go down. Good micro from DNS, but he's already lost a very significant amount. And it looks like the Laser's just continuing the pressure. This one Oracle is actually doing a great job by picking off a few of the Lings there, but it needs to get out of there if it's going to survive. One of them has already gone down. The Void Ray has actually just been chilling around so far. We see no Storm being researched here. The Templar Archives has not been used for that so far. We see more Sentries being warped, and I guess just wanting to get those force fields out, as there's nothing that breaks them for the Zerg player right now. We see more Immortals on the way here for DNS. They're building up, but defending this third base could be very tricky, as a Baneling Nest is on the way for a Laser. And a Laser's preparing for another attack. No, there's like 7 Immortals here, though, so it seems that this may be enough, assuming that there's enough of a buffer here for DNS. The Immortals just put out so much damage. They're significantly tanky, too. We may see a few of them going down, but with these Zealots warping in, they're doing a good job buffering right now. So it seems that DNS may hold on. He's been producing more workers, too. And now it looks like a Laser is actually going to back off, as he's producing just 20 drones casually right now. You know, why not get up to 70 drones? So DNS is now on 3 bases, but he has lost a significant amount of workers right now. So he does need to start producing them. Getting a triple chrono out on those. He's getting his +2 on the way as well, and there's actually no upgrades for a Laser yet. That's where a Laser sort of falls flat right now, as he is just getting his +1 melee attack, whereas DNS is heading towards his +2 attack. So these Hydras will not be too effective. The melee attack will help the Banelings, but Archons and Immortals are quite decent versus those. We now see some Zealots warped in. They're actually going to start working away on these workers, which is very nice. The Warp Prism is going to get out of there. We see this resaturation is still continuing for DNS. There's no Storm on the way yet, though. I'd love to see some actual Storm coming out, but with the Hydras having more health, it's actually not quite as effective as it used to be, but Storm is still a very powerful tool, so we may see if DNS researches that at a later date. We actually also have to find out what DNS is going to be doing next, as he can throw up a 4th base, which can be difficult to hold. He'll most likely have to take the gold base, as the attack angle, it's just sort of way out there on this alternative 4th base here. Right now we see DNS is just continuing to warp in more units. The Zealots, they're going to meet some Banelings, I'm sure, like some Legacy of the Void cinematic right now, but 14 Hydras are on the way for a Laser, but he does not have a single upgrade for these Hydras, and there's going to be +2 for DNS. He's been chrono boosting that out since he started researching it right now. It looks like DNS may be going for a push, and I would love to see him push out, but just as soon as his +2 is done right now, as that will be very significant. There's actually a traitorous Zealot among him, a Changeling there. So picking that off would be very nice for DNS, but looking at the supply right now, it's currently fairly even right now, but +2 is not quite done. 10 seconds remaining, so DNS may be hitting just a bit of an anti-timing right now. Okay, so he's going to pull back just a second. That Concave, these Hydras have great range, so one of those Archons just pops like a balloon there. So DNS having a very tough time right now, actually going to not be able to deal with this. He's now researching Psystorm, maybe realizing that it's a good idea to get that versus this. A Changeling lops up, and that Archon just destroys it there, though. We see more Archons being warped in, but 32 Banelings on the way. Does your upgrades really matter, Laser? If you have that many Banelings, We see no Templars have been warped in. I believe Storm was actually canceled there. I guess DNS decided that he needed money or that he wasn't going to make Storm. We see this Warp Prism still there, but there's enough Hydras there to defend it. And now we actually see a laser pushing up. Some of those Banelings sort of were nullified there. The Zealots are now charging down the ramp, but they're blocked by their own force fields. DNS still has his high Immortal count. He's got the +2 attack. A laser is sort of hitting an anti-timing here, but it still may be enough for him. These Immortals, the Banelings have yet to connect, but there's so many Hydras, there's so many Banelings. DNS is doing a good job holding on there right now. The Hydra count is thinning. It's just these Immortals left him. If he keeps them alive and he holds this attack, that would be very nice for him. Some Zealots are coming in. They're actually going to save the day here. Only 1 or 2 of those Immortals went down. So DNS has effectively held this attack, but there's more Lings rallying in, so he needs to pull back. He lost a lot of those Archons. He never actually researched Storm, so he's just going to go back right into this Immortal production. The upgrade gap is going to close, so the next attack for a laser can be completely deadly. Seeing +3 attack or +1 armor for those Zealots would be very nice. Or even shields for those Archons, but we also have yet to see DNS, or actually DNS has just expanded, but he's going to lose a pardon me there. These Archons are doing a great job versus all these Lings, and there's not too many Hydras here right now, but there may just be too much right now. These Lings do have their +2 attack coming in just a second right now, but it may not even matter as DNS is now just half the supply of a laser. A laser has just whittled DNS down. The Zealots being warped in, another Immortal popped out last second, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. The Zealots are doing their best to close the gap, but the 4th base is gone. DNS is just, even if he holds on, he's basically a dead man walking right now. So it seems that a laser is going to take the first game in this best of 7 here. So the first game goes to a laser, but it is not over by any means. But that was a great game there. DNS almost held on. Maybe it was a mistake to bleed off a unit here and there. Maybe he should have gone into Psystorm and it would have worked out better for him, or teched into something else, more upgrades. Or maybe a quicker 4th base would have done him better, but either way, we're going to get right on into the next game. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Okay, so the next map is actually going to be Sequencer. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm actually just going to take one quick second break here. Okay, so I get back and both players are in the lobby all ready to go here, so no time to waste here. We're going to be getting right on into the next series here. I hope you guys are enjoying this Afreeca World. I hope you'll let your friends know and that they'll come back and check out any future events that we have, or even my stream as a bit of self-promotion as this channel is. I do sometimes casually stream Starcraft, much worse than these guys, but if that's something you're interested in, feel free to check it out here. As Afreeca is a great website just from my short time using it, but there we go. So there's that bit of self-promotion there. So spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map, currently down 0-1, it is DNS. The French Protoss player hoping to finally dethrone the Polish champion who's spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map. A laser, but a laser's looked very solid in every single Afreeca World appearance he's made. I mean, you don't win the tournaments without looking solid, but... So right now, we're looking to see DNS sort of change things up a little bit. It's possible we'll be seeing a Nexus first here. Now, this is something that I love to see, but it's very risky versus Zerg, because if a Zerg goes for an early pool, you can be in trouble. Like, a lot of trouble, so... We'll see how it works out here. I hope you guys are enjoying the casting the games, and we're certainly seeing a wide variety. I mean, we've seen a Thor rush in this tournament so far. So we're seeing that Nexus first here. We're seeing then the Gateway follow up just to get that quick wall off as soon as possible. And we're going to sort of see how this series, well, this match develops. Did I remember to change the overlay? Yes, I did. Okay, so right now we've got a spawning pool on the way for a laser. So DNS doesn't have anything to really worry about as it's not a quick spawning pool here. So he can just sort of safely wall off, get this up, and then he doesn't have to worry about any lings moving across the map. The overlords are moving across the map for a laser right now, but it's going to be a while before they get there. We see this probe moving in for DNS, just going to continuously harass. Looking at this, just he already mined his minerals, so he can't actually harass the workers in that fashion, but he's moving in and out, so we'll see what he sort of gets up to here. Two queens on the way here for a laser, so pretty much standard play. Looking at this rally, he's getting ready to make a third base would be my assumption here. But we'll sort of see how this works out. Maybe it was just those lings rallied out. But anyway, DNS should be in a quite an alright economic position. He's already got up this natural base. He's got his double chrono. He's dumping one of the, actually both of them into his gateway. So this is a bit of a mix-up between an old build and a greedy build. Because at the start of Legacy of the Void, when the Adept was first a unit, people were not used to reacting to something that quickly in such a manner. So Adepts getting into your mineral line would sort of ruin your day. Right now we see DNS just making these quick 2 Adepts. They're going to force out units that maybe can get a drone or two as 2 Adepts one-shot a drone. And now a laser, he's getting up his ling speed. Oh, looking at this though, uh-oh. 2 lings are actually going to get into the mineral line right now. They're going to get a full scout off if they want, or they may start to get workers, so DNS is going to have a very tough time. The probes, good micro though. Oh, just loses that one. And now this ling is in the main base, so it's going to scout the Stargate. But we may actually see some drones going down here. The drones are making a run for it. One of them goes down. We'll most likely see some more. We've seen 2 go down. These Adepts are now trading with the lings that are sent here to clean them up. So decent trades here on these Adepts, but losing that one probe, getting that scouted, it's a bit of an even trade for both of these guys right now. That ling is actually still alive since speed is finished, so it can dart in and out. The wall off has been completed. DNS does not want any more lings in his base. He's going to get that ling there. We now see an Oracle here, so we may see a bit of the same in the last series, as DNS is continuously producing Adepts right now. So we may sort of see that Oracle and Adept push in. As with this Oracle Adept push in, basically the Oracle's support, they deal with the lings which are meant to deal with the Adepts, so it sort of forces the Zerg into an awkward position. They have to react just right to it. We'll see though, that's what DNS opts for. DNS is actually opting for a third base right now. Meanwhile, Laser getting in with this quick Overlord speed, just going to scout everything he wants to. He can just sit there. He's so confident with these Overlords, knows he's not going to lose it. If he sees a Phoenix, he'll turn the Overlord around. Meanwhile, Adepts being produced by a Laser, or by DNS still, so this is sort of the amount. The way that he's building up means he wants to go for some sort of pressure, and he is. He's moving it across the map right now. The Oracle's moving in too, so these Adepts cannot be engaged without Queen support, is basically what the Oracle ensures. And now I'm actually not too sure. A Laser moved his Overlord out of position, so he might not be aware that this is coming. We only see drones on the production tab, but there is 22 Zerglings, but this is 7 Adepts and an Oracle. The Oracles are moving in here. They're forced away though. The Adepts actually move in, but they're also forced away. If the Adepts can kill off the Queens, then the Oracles can deal with the Lings. But right now, the longer that he waits, the less that these Adepts are going to get done. He actually uses the Adepts to kill off a Creep Tumor there. He's now going to start trading with the Queens. He's then going to shade out right away. So not much getting done for DNS, deciding to keep his Adepts alive instead of throwing them away. He's getting up a Twilight Council, getting up a Forge, so he'll have his +1. So he's going to keep these Adepts for longer into the game. Right now, though, we see a Link run by here, killing off 6 probes. That's very nice for a Laser, so picking DNS apart. DNS did go for an economic opening, so he's not in too bad of a situation, but a Laser getting up a 4th base, producing more drones, getting into a Spire now. Okay, so this is the tech of choice. And now, unless these oracles scout it, this could be completely blindsiding for DNS. If he starts producing Phoenix now, he would be fine, but the fact that Ling Hydra has been so common in the meta means that Aspire is something that sort of can catch the Protoss off guard here. These oracles are just chilling. The queens are moving out. Gonna slowly try and get them here. We may actually see if DNS isn't paying attention to these oracles right now. Oh dear, that's in range. That one oracle may be dead. Maybe both of them. Oh dear. DNS needs to move these right. Oh, one of the oracles is going to be pushed away. It's going to go down. A revelation goes down, but that's it. And there's been no detection on the Spire. Blink is not on the way. Charge is being made instead of resonating glaives here. So this is not the kind of attack that DNS wanted here. There's banelings on the way. We see cannons going up in the mineral line of the third base right now. That's going to help with mutas, but it's not a response to mutas as the Spire remains unscouted. DNS has not been poking in with things like Adepts, and now there's 5 Mutalisk on the way, so a Stalker Warpin is going to be needed. These Adepts are actually caught out by some of the Lings here, but DNS has yet to sniff this out. He's started up a 4th base. He's actually made a Phoenix. Okay, so this one Phoenix is going to have a lot of work to do here. That fake over, or actually, was that a legitimate Overlord drop? But either way, this one Phoenix is going to have to deal with these mutas. Oh, this Oracle. Where are the Mutalisk right now, actually? There's 6 mutas there. And the Oracle actually runs into one of the mutas. So we are seeing a Phoenix start right now. Now, it's not a large commitment to mutas right now coming out of a laser, but it may be in the future as he's getting +1 flyer attack. So that's signaling towards a heavy commitment. A Phoenix is being produced right now. We're seeing more and more Phoenix are going to be made. Chrono is certainly going out on this gateway as... Ooh, that's very unfortunate. That's a warp gate being picked off. We now see the Stalkers there. The Phoenix is out too. So assuming there's good micro coming out of DNS, but I believe he lost one of his Phoenix already. A Storm goes down on the mutas. That's not going to accomplish much. The cannons there, a mass Zealot warping to try and tank these Banes, but this is a lot of Banes. A split going down on the probes that's decent. A lot of the Banelings connect with the army of DNS though, so DNS is down on supply. We see a Massling Warpin coming out right now. We see the Phoenix actually lifting up a Baneling, as there is just this 6 mutas still, so we'll see how many Phoenix that DNS makes. Another mass attack coming in here. We see the probe split once again. Good splits so far. The Banelings don't accomplish too much. 8 probes. That's actually, assuming that DNS keeps resaturating these probes, keeps making more, he should be in a fine situation as he does have those 4 nexus, so it's certainly possible. But he needs to have good micro with these Phoenix so to deal with these Mutalisk here, and I believe he's going to do just that when there's not that many Mutalisk left. Oh, but then here we are, we see a massive Ling run by. The Phoenix are just sitting there as the Mutas work away on the probes, so DNS is just falling apart right now. The Archons come back, so these Lings are effectively trapped, but a laser is on 4 bases, and he's just rallying more Lings. The 3rd base, more Banelings, can you believe it? This must be the 3rd or 4th time that Banelings have rolled forward. 20 probes have gone down so far. DNS is going to have a tall order to rebuild. He's actually losing one of the High Templar there. The Ling's focusing on another one. That one does survive, but he's actually going to lose the 3rd Nexus. Some of his gateways are empowered. His main base is basically abandoned. He's lifting up Lings with his Phoenix. So now DNS is in a very tough situation. A laser heading towards Hive casually. He's just been throwing Lings at DNS and it's been sticking to the wall. Supply-wise, DNS is almost half. He's down to 30 workers. Where he's kept losing workers is just absolutely everywhere. His main base is not mining. His natural is hardly mining. His 3rd base is not going to be mining for much longer as these Lings are running in, and this is most likely going to be GG here as a laser has just bled DNS. DNS is moving across the map for a pseudo all-in, but there's 20 Banelings morphing back at home. And that is a lot of Banelings. The Phoenix are moving in here. They can maybe pick up a few, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. An amazing spread would be needed for DNS to make this work, and I don't believe he has a Warp Prism with this, so he doesn't have any reinforcements, so that's most likely going to be it, as this army is just going to get destroyed by the Banelings. GG, as a laser is taking the 2-0 lead here in this series. A laser is just playing so solid, and it's looking like he's going to take another Afreeca World. The third map is going to be Odyssey here. So I hope you guys are actually enjoying this series. I mean, it's not been like complete bops or anything like that, but Laser just picked apart DNS. The first game was a little bit more close, but the second game was just DNS getting picked apart. That's really the only way to say it. So we'll see if DNS can bring it back. He's certainly got the skill to do so. I hope you guys are enjoying this 5th Afreeca World. Looks like we may be having some classic Starcraft lobby issues, so hopefully we can work through it. Alrighty, so here we are. We're ready into the next map, which is going to be Odyssey. I believe this is actually a Zerg favored map, so DNS could be having a very tough time in this series if he can't sort of work against that. Alrighty, both players are readying up. And all the players are ready. So we're going to be getting on right into the next game here. I hope you guys have been enjoying Afreeca World. I hope you'll continue to enjoy Afreeca World, as we're going to see if DNS can bring it back. I'm just going to have a drink here, as it's been a long casting day. That's a lie, but it's been about 3 hours of solo casting, so I don't cast too much, honestly, so we'll see how this goes. So, spawning up in the top left-hand side. I think I've been doing all right with intros this cast, not messing up the positions or things like that. Anyway, you know him. He's won the past 2 Afreeca Worlds. He's making his way to a third, up 2-0. It's a Laser. His opponent, I think that star should be changed to a sad face, as he is currently down 0-2. It is DNS, the red Protoss player from France. Poland has been reigning strong in Afreeca World so far, so we're going to see if that can be changed by DNS, but so far it's not looking like it. We see a Nexus first coming out of DNS once again, so this is his choice. The map isn't quite as big. So it's a bit risky to do this again, but we'll see how it works out here. A Laser, once again, just sticking to the tried and true. I think through most of the games he's played in Afreeca World, he's generally just stuck to standard macro builds. He hasn't often brought out anything too aggressive. A Laser's just been playing very solid. So we'll see this Overlord move across the map once it eventually gets there.
Paused.
Okay, apparently DNS is having a break or something here, so we're just gonna, I guess, talk about the game while we go through that. Hope you guys are all right with this quick break here. Should just be a minute or two here, as a DNS did inform me that he would need to take a short break throughout the series. Now, we've seen a Nexus first going down for DNS here. Standard gateway, whereas the Laser's just doing everything solid. We'll probably see a third base go up for a Laser, and then we'll see if he just decides to flood Lings like like he's done so famously in Afreeca World. I don't know who we're going to have to reach out to beat a Laser. Hey, I can spend this time adjusting my glasses. Nope, wrong way. There we are. I'm doing it in reverse on the camera here, so. I hope you guys are enjoying this Afreeca World. It's been a bit of a rough stretch for anyone. Okay, so we're getting ready.
Game resumed.
Okay, so sorry for that short break. DNS informed us it would be going on. Right now we've got Cybercore going up for DNS. Queen on the way here for a laser. I mean, it's Starcraft 2. It's a Zerg race. I think a queen's to be expected here. Ling speed on the way for a laser, so I mean, he did fantastic with his lings in the last game. So he managed to make it work. And we'll, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's pretty much made his way through all the Afreeca Worlds with this. This one Zealot's just standing there for DNS. Maybe thinking I'm supposed to be tucked in somewhere. We see a Stalker now on the way for DNS, and now we're seeing a quick Twilight. Okay, so maybe DNS is changing it up. Maybe we'll see some Archons coming out. Maybe we'll see a charge, Adept all in. It could really be anything right now. A Robo on the way, so if I was a betting man, I'd bet DTs, and if I was a betting man, I would not bet on this working versus a laser. Laser is such a solid player. I think he knows the timings, knows how to identify a Dark Shrine at this point in the current meta, as the meta is quite solid. So if this is a Dark Shrine, I worry for DNS, as I know he's a bit desperate in this series. No, he's actually going for a quick charge. Okay, so color me wrong, but charge is a lot cheaper right now in Legacy of the Void. If you guys are familiar, the latest patch, it did cool things like give the Thor armor, it made Zealot charge cheaper. So this is making things possible, like a charge all in here. So, but I don't think a laser's gonna let that happen. We're seeing a Baneling Nest has gone up for a laser. He's gonna do a Baneling bust here. DNS is not ready for this. DNS has 6 army supply. He tries to get up a pylon, but he doesn't. The Banelings are going to roll in. He does not have Warp Gate research finished yet. The Twilight may even go down. It's going to be unpowered. That is going to be GG, as the laser is going to take a 3-0 lead in this tournament. DNS quickly throwing up more pylons here, but I don't think it's going to matter. There is simply way too many units here. The Banelings, oh, massive probe connections. 19 probes go down. Call me negative, but that's GG, as that was a hard counter build there. Okay, guys, we're just flying through this last series. A laser sticking to his name, just bopping absolutely everyone. Snoot managed to take 1 game, and that was Snoot. He was such a good player. So a laser's in fantastic form right now. So we just did the map Odyssey. So the next map is going to be Abyssal Reef here. Now, Abyssal Reef could potentially be the last map here. But we'll see. Can DNS bring it back? Or is it going to be a very, very quick 4-0? DNS was joking about how he was going to get 4-0'd, so I think we may be having a laser as the Afreeca World Champion yet again for a 4th time running. I'm going to have to, like, I think we brought in Cyril, Hero Marine, Snoot. We've brought in a lot of hard people, a lot of very talented players, but a laser has made it work here. I worry a little bit for Afreeca World. We're going to have to rename it to a Lasers tournament. Both players are ready, so we're going to be getting on into the last map. Well, potentially the last map. I shouldn't say the last map, as DNS still has a fighting chance to bring this back. But a laser has been playing very solid. He's here to collect his Afreeca World money yet again to make Poland, I believe, the champion of the tournament 4 out of 5 times, I think, I want to say. that Poland has been in the lead for this tournament. So a laser, you know him by now, spawning down the bottom right-hand side. Did he just cancel a drone there? I think he did, so we're going to see an early pool. A laser changed his mind on his build, so he went for an early pool. And now DNS looking for a wall off on the low ground here, but he's moving out with this probe right away. So what we're going to see, I'm not sure, but are we going to see maybe a cannon rush? Is this going to be was this aiming to be an attempted cannon rush? No, okay, so it's going to be a gateway. And now we're actually going to see that DNS is doing the best thing possible by scouting on this map, Abyssal Reef here. Let me just make sure I've swapped the overlays. Yes, I have. He sees that there's no expansion here. So DNS, this is a good opening for him. He's didn't go for a Nexus first or anything like that, so a laser can't catch him off guard like that. So DNS knows the situation, knows he's going to need to prepare back at home to finish this wall off, to get out a Zealot most likely. Now this pylon placement, I'm not sure if this is the greatest, as I'm not sure if he'll be able to place a building to complete this wall off there. We shall see. He's going to have to chrono boost out a Zealot right away here. For these Lings are already on the way. DNS doing his best to try and block this off already to deny the hatchery. Keeping some of the Lings back. We're seeing these Lings are moving across the map. We see a pylon go up there. That's an interesting placement. We may see another pylon, I think, to complete this wall with the Zealot. Yeah, there we are. So DNS is going to try and hold this. The timing's going to be close, so that Zealot needs to tuck inside there. Oh, the Zealot's popping out. Oh, that's risky. It's always risky poking in and out with the Zealot right now. More Lings are coming in. The Zealot cannot be caught out. The Zealot, an Adept is on the way, but this pylon may be unpowered. We're going to need to see another probe come down for DNS. Lings are getting in here. Okay. This is looking very troublesome, very worrisome. Lings are just walking into DNS's base here, guys. Oh dear. So here we have a laser just once again bopping his way through Afreeca World. It looks like just all these probes, they're tucking away, they're trying to hide their heads, but this wall was meant to hold for DNS, but a laser just targeted the pylon, and maybe the wall off placement was not too great. So DNS is still ahead on workers technically. He's not been mining very much lately. He's shooing these Lings away. There's no speed for a laser, so maybe I'm sort of overstating this, but this is not a happy situation for a Protoss player when there's a bunch of Lings in your base. This Adept is going to clean up the last bit, but there's still a hole in the wall. There's no Nexus for DNS, so this is one base Protoss for DNS. The two Adepts are moving across. There's no Ling speed here. The Zealots are actually going to march across too. Okay, so DNS is just going for it, I guess. The probe's going to come down, start up a Nexus, it looks like. I'm a bit nervous him starting a Nexus without this wall. Okay, here comes the Ling. It's going to try and deny that Nexus there. The Adept, though, is going to come in and save the day. Now, there must have been an Overlord go down or something, or... No, there's no way an Overlord could have possibly died on this map, but... I guess a laser may be doing an extractor trick or something, but these two Adepts are not really going to accomplish much. The Zealots are actually here, so they may try and get something done. The Adepts are going to start working away. The Adept shading into the main base could be a good move here. The Zealots are going to move forward. They're going to start working away on the Queens right now, but the Adepts cancel their shade, so nothing else is getting done here for a laser. Now, there is no speed. Actually, speed literally just started here, so... Speed is on the way, but DNS doesn't have to worry about that for a while. So DNS, maybe I made a I'll honestly admit I'm not a Protoss or a Zerg player all the time, so maybe I shouldn't have called that. I was just in so soon, but we'll see. A laser, once he gets this Ling speed, he just turns into a monster, so we'll see if DNS can handle it. I'd like to see that wall completed once again. We see a third base on the way, a bit of an aggressive third base, or a different third base anyway. It's going to be scouted by these Adepts. These Adepts are going to get to work on one of the Queens. They may actually get her here. So that's, or there could be a transfuse. There is a transfuse going down, so the Adepts are going to run away. Ling speed is going to be finishing up fairly soon, but there's an Oracle on the way for DNS. So once again, he's going into this Stargate, but it sort of betrayed him here. The Stargate has not done DNS too well. This Zealot, once again, well, I think this is the same Zealot tasked with holding this wall here. Maybe he'll do a better job this time. We see this Oracle is on the way. Double Spore Crawler on the way here. Lings are once again looking for a runway here. DNS does need to be careful. There's 6 Adepts out for DNS. The Zealot is moving out, so now there's 7 just waiting. We'll see. How many Lings is there? There's 20 Lings versus 7 Adepts. I believe that's a fight that the Adepts win, so if a laser doesn't prepare for this, we may actually see these Adepts finally get some damage done here. But there is the 3 Queens. The Oracle trying to get something done, but it's just being constantly pushed away right now. The Adepts are moving in here. They're going to possibly trade with the Lings. They're going to shade on into the natural, it looks like. Now, that's actually good. They're avoiding all the Queens, but he cancels the shade. I think that might have been a decent shade, but the Adepts certainly would have taken casualties there, though. So, DNS, once again, playing on the side of caution right now. Baneling Nest on the way for a laser. He just went for a Baneling Nest and ended the game last game. We'll see if he does it this time, but DNS is more established here. We see 24 Lings on the way for a laser, though, so he's producing a lot right now. This attack is coming in for DNS, but there's no Resonating Glaives here, so this is 2 Oracles. Now, this is actually very nice. The Oracles, if he kills off the Queens, then they have free reign over the Lings, but the Oracles do pull back. Now, these Oracles, they're once again sharking around. Those Queens are low, so they may be able to pick them off, honestly. There's not quite enough energy for a transfuse on either of them, but looking at this, DNS is securing his 3rd base. He's going to kill off this one Overlord here. A laser actually didn't get Overlord speed this game, but there's Banelings here. Force fields need to go down. Oh, the Banelings do get decent connects there on the Adepts. All the sentries have gone down, all but one actually. Just barely survives here. No workers died there, but a laser has another army that's incoming. The Zealot's still in the wall, which is good to see there. However, these Lings are just going to run in. They're going to kill off this Stalker right now. That Stalker gets surrounded. Sentry is killing those Overlords very slowly. Looking at the upgrades right now, Laser's actually going to have the lead. The Banelings are rolling in here, trying to get nice connections. The force field goes down, sort of nullifies that, which is nice for DNS. He's hanging on, and he's actually got a supply lead this game. A Laser's sort of been a bit reckless throwing it away, and now we're seeing DNS is throwing up a large amount of gateways, partially for a wall, partially because he wants a lot of warpins. But we have yet to see, I believe, a Twilight Council out for DNS just yet, so no Resonating or he does have a Twilight, but he has not researched anything from it, so maybe DNS forgot Resonating Glaives here, or maybe he's deciding to change his tech right now. It's most likely that he's changing his tech, because he did just throw up a Twilight Council. We'll see if he's going to rely on Storm. Now, we actually saw 9 drones go down, so that must have been the work of an Oracle around here. The Oracles, one of them did go down. The other's very weak and needs to move right away. Oh, and it actually goes down there. So that's the end of the Oracles for DNS. DNS looking to secure a 4th base, but that's actually most likely going to be canceled here. Yes, that base is actually forced to cancel. I believe that was a kill, actually, not a cancel. We see more Adepts being warped in here to defend this Immortal. There's a large portion of DNS's army hiding away somewhere. Or maybe, yeah, it was back in the main base for whatever reason there. Maybe a Ling run-by came in. A laser poking and prodding once again, taking a supply lead right now. We're seeing DNS warping and plenty of High Templar here, but there's no Storm being researched here. He's deciding, no, I don't want Storm. Maybe Protoss players know something that I don't, and that Storm is not supposed to be made. I guess it's really just a style choice. If you want to focus more on the mass as opposed to the defense, maybe? Anyway, we see these Lings moving out, so DNS is going to have a tough time holding this. The pylons will finish up, so he will be able to photon overcharge at least one of them for this defense, but a laser is getting ready for another strong poke. There is Archons here, but upgrade-wise, a laser has a +1 lead, but +1 is going to be finishing up for DNS. Banelings were actually not morphed here, so that's nice for DNS to get this, but we're going to see a Baneling drop here, heading towards the natural of DNS, and this could simply be game turning right now, as DNS is up at a 70 healthy workers right now, but we're going to see if he'll react to this, and he's actually not going to, so these banelings are dropping. 10 probes are going to go down. He's still up at 60 though, so it's not quite the end of the world, but this is a very large army for a laser. DNS needs to be very careful pushing into this. He's researching Storm this time. This is what I've wanted to see. Baneling speed is finishing, but I think DNS needs to be careful. He needs to play defensive right now, as you can't push in when you're this down on supply. 3 drones go down to this warp prism, trying to get anything it can done. Just keeping the laser busy. That's what DNS needs to do. Is if a laser's busy, he's not busy running Zerglings. Well, if a laser's busy at his side of the map, he's not busy running Zerglings over at your side of the map. But looking at this, we're seeing a whopping 21 banelings, another 17 on the way. We see some force fields go down. These Archons actually doing a good job soaking a large amount of these banelings. 3 Archons doing a great job there. The Templar, though, they've been sitting back to try and buy time until Storm's done. But a large portion of the buffer for DNS has gone down. He's going to need to evacuate these probes. They're evacuating right now. The Storm is not quite ready yet. The banelings are rolling forward. Going to want to connect with the High Templar. Storm is finished in 10 seconds right now. The Mothership core goes down, so this base may be forfeit. We see an Archon warped in. Storm has finished right now, though, so we're seeing 1 Storm go down. There's plenty of Storms here for DNS. He needs to get good connections on those banelings. The banelings rolling forward, though, connecting with all the High Templars. And Archon forced to morph, but it looks like a laser is going to be taking a 4-0 here. GG, as a laser takes the game. A laser takes the series. So DNS managed to make it into the finals of this Afreeca World, but a laser just bopping away. I hope you guys enjoyed that cast there. I hope you enjoyed the stream here. I mean, a laser, we're going to have to find someone to beat him. And I assure you we'll get around to finding someone who will eventually. But right now, I'm not sure to love or dislike a laser, as he's just destroying everyone. I mean, you got to love that, though. Afreeca World number 3, he comes in 3-0's Hearthstone, 4-0's BCQT. Afreeca World number 4, he 3-1's Petit Drogo, 4-0's Hero Marine, and then in this Afreeca World, he 3-1's Snoot, and then 4-0's DNS. So this guy's got a thing for 4-0ing in finals here. So very well played by a laser, just sticking to it. Round of applause for him. I hope you guys have enjoyed this Afreeca World. Make sure to come out and support. You can like this stream, I believe. You can follow this channel if you do. Make sure to come and check it out every once in a while. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.